Chris Avalon Unfiltered, bitch.
Hey, everybody. Welcome. It's your boy, Chris Avalon, and welcome to a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered, a show where we basically talk about all the latest in entertainment news, hot topics, pop culture. So anything that's going on that's trending in the world of entertainment, we talk about it on this here show. So before we get to said topics that I'm going to give you all the rundown on in just a second, do yourselves a favor and hit that like button, that subscribe button, and that notification button so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. So I'm just gonna give everybody a couple of minutes to jump on in because this is why I do the rundown real quick, so that way it gives everybody an opportunity to bring their eyeballs up on their show, the interactive pop culture talk show that we have over here. So we're going to talk a bit about Beyonce making history over on the country music charts. We're also going to talk about Beyonce being called out by a songwriter, her, Usher, Zendaya, Tamar, a bunch of girls and boys, because Usher be a name, as y'all be out here stealing people's songs and y'all ain't putting no damn songwriting up in them songs that y'all claiming that y'all wrote. So we're gonna talk about that. Plus Kelly Rowland's rep. Because I've been hearing so many stories, but then this morning, Kelly Rowland's rep actually spoke out about the singer and the whole Today Show debacle. We're going to talk about that coming up. Plus, we got some tea on Nicki Minaj because the people that were doxxed by her, Barbz, are speaking out and they're saying they're considering taking legal action against her because she run out here doing this bullshit. And she said something recently, I think it was like yesterday, that she was thanking her Barbz for going after her ops. So she clearly don't think that she should be affected by this. Her Barbz is out here just doxing people and trolling people and stuff. So we're gonna talk about that. Plus, she wants Cat Williams to join on her Pink Friday 2 tour. And shout the comments on social media, they dragged her over that. Like, huh? Like that don't even make no damn sense. So we're gonna talk about that. Plus, Porsha Williams, Guobadia, we're gonna talk about her, her marrying Joanne the scammer, because there's this, the stereotypes about Nigerians and scams and this, that, and the third. And with all this tea coming out, it's like y'all proving people that stereotype ain't actually a stereotype. There's some truth to a stereotype. So we got that. Plus, Lionel Richie says that he wants Madonna to replace Katy Perry on America Idol. So we're gonna talk about that. Plus, Usher got into a bidding war. Did y'all know this? Over Justin Bieber with Justin Timberlake. So we're gonna talk about that. Plus, Justin Timberlake is in the news because a former Playboy model is revealing that she cheated with Justin when he was in a relationship with Cameron Diaz. So we're talking about that. Plus, Tom Sandoval from Vanderpump Rules done stuck his foot in his damn mouth because he went and tried to compare the whole Scandoval debacle to what happened to George Floyd and OJ Simpson, the whole sensationalism around that. So here we go with white people trying to compare they bullshit to black struggles. But we're going to talk about that. So, and Floyd Mayweather, speaking of people defending foolishness and all this other mess, he's talking about he can't condemn Diddy over all the stuff that he is being accused of, especially with Cassie and all this stuff, because mistakes happen and I can't condemn a black man. Miss me with that bullshit. So we're gonna talk about that. Plus, Offset is pressuring Cardi B to release his long overdue sophomore album, which word on the street I heard is complete, but she's scared to release it. So we're gonna talk about that and a whole lot more. And whatever comes up in the comments or whatever, when y'all be throwing a video, y'all can bring that up. I hope I remember throughout the show because I did see the Selena two-part docuseries. I do want to bring that up sometime in the show, but if I forget, remind me if I got the regulars watching the show. Just remind me of that. But anyway, so before we get to these topics, once again, do yourselves a solid and hit that like button, that subscribe button, and that notification button, so that way you know we go live. And hold on, before we get to these damn topics here, let me hit my banner. So I just want to leave the cash app up a little bit for a second too. So if y'all want to throw some coin in my direction, can use a little coin dollars, even though I work and I go all this stuff. But look, a little goes a long way. It helps the show. But anyway, but without further ado, let's get to the topics. And topic number one, let's give a congratulations to Beyonce, who is making country music history by officially becoming the first Black woman to reach number one on Billboard's Hot Country Songs chart with her new single, Texas Hold'em. Now, shout out, it said on Tuesday, Billboard revealed that the alien superstar musician, who was 42, became the first ever Black female artist to top the Hot Country Songs chart thanks to her single, Texas Hold'em, which also debuted at number two on the Hot 100 chart. Now, Texas Hold'em, which was officially serviced to country radio on February 13th, took the top spot from Zach Bryant and Casey Musgraves, whose duet, I Remember Everything, has sat at number one for 20 weeks. Now, the track amassed $19.2 million, sorry, official streams and 4.8 million in all format airplay audience, with 39,000 sales in the US through February 15th per Luminate. That's what every time I hear the word "Luminate," I be thinking of Dula Peep because she got a song on her album, the album number 2 called "Luminate." But anyway, so Beyonce and Taylor Swift are the only solo female artists who have debuted at number one on the chart, with the latter claiming the top spot with "Love Story," Taylor's version, and "All Too Well," Taylor's version in 2021. The 32-time Grammy winner also made history which is weird. Hold on, before I get to that, which is weird because Taylor Swift ain't been country for years, yet she still occupies the country space, even though she's a pop star now. But y'all got a problem with Beyonce infiltrating country music. Okay. So y'all, if y'all can read between the lines, you know exactly what I'm alluding to. But anyway, let's get back to the story. So the 32-time Grammy winner also made history as the first female artist to claim the top spot on Hot Country Songs and Hot R&B Hip Hop Songs. Hot R&B and Hip Hop. I mean, R&B. Okay, whatever. Y'all be the way y'all do these whole chart things is so weird to me. But whatever. So it says that the Hot R&B Hip Hop Song says October 1958 when the list became all-encompassing genre songs charts. The only other artists to have led these charts are Morgan Wallen. Isn't that the racist? Justin Bieber, Billy Ray Cyrus, and Ray Charles. 16 Characters, which was released alongside Texas Hold'em on February 11th, debuted at number 9 on the Hot Country Songs chart and began at number 38. So it says it is garnered 10.3 million streams, 90,000 on radio, and 14,000 in sales. So it seems to be that Texas Hold'em, which is clearly the obvious on the nose country bumpkin song, is the song that everybody's gravitating towards and is actually getting Beyonce up on them charts. Where, in my opinion, 16 Characters, which I think vocally Beyonce sounds way better on than Texas Hold'em. Texas Hold'em sounds a little too much like she's playing country cosplay, but I understand like when it comes to certain songs, sometimes you gotta beat people over the head with the obvious song in order for them to kind of get in that headspace. Even though some people who are country music fans listen to these songs and be like, "Girl, this ain't no real country music," but if it's getting her in these spaces, then that's great. And I also feel like, you know what? It's even though country music is rooted in Black music, historically speaking, since we in Black History Month, it's great that she has um occupied the space and is making history, especially someone of her caliber and someone, as powerful and as influential as Beyonce is. You know what? In so many ways, I'm glad that she's pushing through these spaces. And shout out to the Beehive, who have really been, the at the forefront of really pushing Beyonce out there into these spaces and getting these songs put on a lot of these charts, because not only could we look at it a place of racism, because a lot of people, let's be clear, have an issue with Beyonce being a Black woman on country music radio and all this other stuff, even though some of the higher ups, we don't have no problem with it. But we've been seeing a lot of the comments, especially with that asshole from Smallville, and that Tyler Perry was employed at one point, talking about comparing her, Beyonce doing country like a dog pissing on a tree or something or another, whatever the fuck he said. But um in that space is like, I love the fact that she is edutating, which is like I've said before, she's educating but also entertaining the, people in music and showing you like, yes, country is rooted in Black music, but also, I'm going to infiltrate these spaces. And then not only it plays into the whole pushing the boundaries of the racism thing where y'all want to gatekeep and keep Black people out of these spaces, it's also a look at ageism, because Beyonce is at that age where a lot of these radio stations and a lot of these people that gatekeep a lot of these situations want to push women out, because once you get to be a certain age, y'all don't want to let women infiltrate a lot of those compounds. Now, I don't know if it's necessarily different for country music, like you could be any age and still infiltrate country music, but I know for the most part, it's like once women start to get to be a certain age, y'all want to be like, oh, that y'all want to age them out of, being influential and impacting a lot of the stations and pop culture and musical spaces. So shout out to her. Kudos to you, Beyonce, for pushing boundaries, and that her fan base is actually making whatever it is that she's doing be known, and y'all are pushing, her out there to do what needs to be done and change the dynamic of how people receive and take in music. So kudos to her. Even though I'm not necessarily, like I told you, I'm not feeling this whole country era. Like this is not my zhuzh. Country is not my a genre that I listen to regularly. I told her unless it's on a plane of like a Shania Twain or something, like it's got to give me a little pop. It's got to be up tempo. Like unless it's giving me that, I'm not listening to it. Like there's very few country girls that I can get into. Like Dolly Parton's an icon, so Dolly will always be that girl, and then Shania Twain and that sort of thing. But outside of that, it's like I don't really listen to country music regardless of who it comes from. So, like I said, good luck to you, Beyonce. Glad that you are, making history and all that good stuff. But with the Beyonce, giving her shout outs, I got to read her too because that story is coming up. But first, before we get to all the other stuff, let me get to the comments. So Taylor's first few albums were country. Yeah, it was, but like I'm thinking about the more recent stuff. Like how you still infiltrating the country music space and you're not necessarily a part of that world anymore. Um he's a hello, child, first of all. Shout out to Robert because Robert read me earlier. I was like, oh, he got me all the way together. Like he posted on my social media. He was like, are you doing a new show today? Because you haven't done a new show since Saturday. I said, oh, not me being clocked. But the reason for why I haven't really been doing a show is because um I've been under the weather. Like February, can we just throw this whole fucking month away? Like Black History Month notwithstanding, I have been I've been like health wise, I've been a mess. Like I already told y'all, ever since that damn Madonna concert, I've been sick. I believe I had COVID, even though the damn test said I wasn't. I didn't have the COVID, but I think I did. And then when I finally was able, it took me like 2 weeks to get over there because it was like once you get that out of your system, then it's like the shortness of breath. Like I was having a hard time breathing. I was exhausted a lot. So it takes it's a lot of energy when you have to do these type of shows or whatever. But and then between working and then my website and then doing all these other things, like it's a lot of energy that goes into putting these type of things together. So I haven't really been doing as many shows as I would like to. And plus it was a slow week in entertainment. Like it wasn't a lot going on, but today's episode is action packed because it's like we got at least a good 15 topics that I'm going to try to get to. There was some I had to cut because I was like, oh, it's a little much. But um yeah, I was and then once I got to a point where I started feeling better, then all of a sudden I told y'all when I watched The Color Purple, all of a sudden I started to feel like I'm getting a sore throat. I was like, wait a minute. So I'm like, "Ooh, let me take this nighttime Robitussin, this cough medicine." And then I'm like, because I'm and then all of a sudden I'm taking the cough medicine. The next day I wake up, my nose is congested, my nose is running, I can't breathe. Like I can't breathe through my nose, like I can't smell nothing. And then it's like I'm coughing profusely, but there's no phlegm and nothing coming out. So I'm just like, what the hell is going on with me? So I'm just like, yeah. So February has been like the shittiest month in regards of like my wellness and things. Hopefully, fingers crossed, March will be a much better month. But yeah, February, I'm throwing this whole fucking month away. Another friend Joey who's been going through it health wise too. Like I know he's been really sick for a while too. He said today is the first time I think in a long time that he's able to work out. I have not been in the gym at all this month. Like literally, luckily my physicality is still like I've been able to maintain. But and I have weights in my house, so um. I haven't really been able to hit the gym like I wanted to because, like I told y'all, like the minute I was well enough to be like, "Oh yeah, I'm ready to go to the gym," all of a sudden I started feeling sick again. I'm like, "What the hell?" So it's not meant for me to go work out, I guess. I guess March is I just gonna have to throw that whole month away that I paid to go to the gym because I ain't been in there since, you know, the month I ain't been in the gym since January, the end of January. So but anyway, enough of my health woes. Let's get to these comments. So feelings a lot of people in this generation think Dolly Parton and Willie Nelson invented they do. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they do, but yeah. The Taylor's version for Fearless, Speak Now and Red were her country albums. The Taylor's versions were, oh, okay. You got to give time to let things happen and have things to talk about. Yeah, and that's another thing too. Like, I don't want to be one of those people. Also, I'm like, why am I? I have to check what's going on my neck because I'm seeing like my neck is red. Something must have bit me. Child, I'm just falling apart live on this. But anyway, so I do it's like yeah, because I'm noticing like there's a lot of other podcasters and talk, pundits or whatever who jump on social media just to be like, oh yeah, I got to keep the algorithm and stuff. Right? I don't give a like the algorithm could do whatever the hell it wants, but I'm not chasing no algorithm. I'm not chasing numbers. I give y'all the show, and I appreciate those of y'all that really support and like and comment. And please like, comment, subscribe, and tell your friends and take the clips and share it wherever you can, retweet and do all other stuff. But for the most part, I'm not running around chasing algorithms like a lot of people do. And I'm not just going to jump on here and just talk about any old damn thing just so I can keep an algorithm going. Like, if there's enough to talk about, then I come on and I give you all a show. But yeah, it's been a slow week in regards of like celebrity news and gossip, which is why I've kind of been avoiding doing it. But anyway, and they say in Arizona, I'm getting my allergy, so people think I'm sick. But I'm like, again, I'm sure you can probably hear that I'm congested, that my nose is running. I'm hoping to Christ that, well, my nose is stuffed. It's not running because I blew my nose for like a good 5 minutes before I started the show. So I'm really hoping, like, excuse me, that I don't have a moment when my nose start running. But I got my tissue, I got my water, I got all that good stuff next week. I always got to keep myself hydrated. Speaking of water, let me take some before we go to this next topic. Yeah, so I made sure like I'm not gonna be out here looking crazy, whatever. So I'm just hoping to Christ everything is well put together before we get to the next topic. If you can give thoughts on Billie Eilish, basically tell the kind of know that there are too many TikTokers at the PCAS. Oh, that was the People Choice Awards that she said that? One TikToker actually understood her, but said if you listen to tones. I did see that clip of her doing this to Kylie Minogue, and they said that they caught her. Y'all gonna have to come out there with like one of those RuPaul's Drag Race diva fans to cover y'all mouth. Because these camera people, y'all are not that y'all shady, because I love it because it's good grist for my mill. Um, but for the most part, um, I don't know why. See, and this is another thing that irritates me. And I get it because maybe Billie Eilish comes from a place where, okay, in my mindset, I come from the old school of like the Beyoncés, the Justin Timberlakes, the Britneys, the Kylies, well, Kylie is older than, my whole situation. But the era of artists that I come up with is the Ushers, the Pinks, all that other stuff. But so I get it. It's like you come from that era of like you gotta work hard to maintain that success. But now we're in an era of like I guess Paris Hilton started that, where it's just like you don't have to have any kind of talent and you could be famous for nothing. And her, Kim Kardashian, and so many others. So now you have these TikTokers, because TikTok is all the rage now, that are coming in and infiltrating spaces. But isn't Billie Eilish record label the one that decided to remove their music from TikTok? All the artists that's on her label, it was like Universal, that decided to remove all their music from TikTok because I guess they felt like they weren't the good enough percentage. So um I don't know. Like to me, it's like, look, I just am as much as certain things irritate me, like these kids out here with that don't have to work hard, particularly a lot of these white TikTokers that sit up in here and they watch other people, and y'all take from the people of color, or you take from a lot of these other kids that put real effort and work into their shit, and y'all will go viral over them because you're skinny, you're younger, you're prettier, and you don't put no kind of effort in the work that y'all do. Those are the ones that piss me off. But if y'all actually out here like pounding the pavement and doing the work that it takes to put together something, then I don't see a problem with them being invited to these spaces. But I do have a problem with somebody who has no kind of social skills, who are out here doing all kinds of, who are becoming like these big personalities when they hosting shows and doing red carpets. Like I've done red carpets, I've done all these other things, but I'm like, I don't like those people that just okay because you got 50,000 fans on TikTok all of a sudden getting to interview people and you're horrible, because we've seen it happen when you watched what was it, the MTV VMAs, or you watch the movie awards where they be having these TikTokers and stuff on there, and y'all can't read a teleprompter to save your damn life. Y'all don't have none of that shit. I auditioned to be a VJ for MTV twice. Didn't make it, which I know why. I know what my fuck up was. I wasn't good at reading the teleprompter back then. I was reading it horribly. But since then, I've gotten a whole lot better at my presentation and giving y'all like that entertainment side. So and yeah, so I did audition to be a VJ two times. And I know I did bad on both. So I'm not gonna like dismiss and act like I was like the bee's knees when I was horrible in my auditions. So it is what it is. I hope I answered the question because I just went on a whole tangent. I do not have Sudafed. Maybe I need to go and get some. I literally have a Walgreens around the corner for me, so I probably could run over there and get that. But anyway, isn't pissed off, but very hurt at the person he respected and admired, felt he didn't belong there. But he is a celebrity. But she, and here's the thing: this is why a lot of times y'all should just not want to meet your heroes because these people that you see on TV that are presenting a certain image when you meet them in real life, they ain't a bunch of fucking assholes. This is why a lot of times I hate being the Grinch and I hate being the cynic. But a lot of times when I tell y'all stuff, it's from experience. It's from being around a lot of these celebrities, it's working in a lot of these places where I've been behind the scenes and me being at VH1 and all the other stuff, like my history and stuff of being around these celebrities and seeing how a lot of them are. That's why I give y'all the other side. I'm not gonna sit up here and sugarcoat me. Oh yeah, that's all me. Not to these celebrities are fucking assholes or insecure or hating on somebody who's younger, way more intelligent, can read you down to the ground and they just be mad. So this is why it's a lot of times like, yeah, I'll go to these celebrity events, but well, bitch, if Billie Eilish got a problem with me, I was like, well, she could kiss my ass. First of all, somebody need to teach her how to dress, because she be looking a hot ass mess when she be going to them award shows. She was homeschooled, didn't grow up. So that could be it too. Well, Billie always comes across as like socially awkward. I don't want to say she might be on the spectrum, you never know, but she do give me like um she don't really know how to interact or be around people besides her brother, who she makes all her music with. Heard something about Laverne Cox not doing good. I mean, it's no shade because I really don't watch these red carpets or something. Like I always feel like a lot of these mainstream red carpets are so fake and phony. So I really don't watch a lot of stuff. So I really don't know how. And I like Laverne, but I don't honestly know how Laverne comes across in a lot of these interviews. But if you saying that she's not doing good in her recent interviewing and how she comes across and shit, I mean, I'm not gonna hold you. Like, I'll take your word for it. Speaking of which, you know what? I'm gonna talk about it now because I said that um before I forget, whatever the case is. But here's the thing: let's talk about that special with. Let me put that up there, chair. Okay, so let's talk about this damn special with the Selena and Yolanda. So I finally watched it. I'm gonna just do a quick review real quick because I don't want to spend a lot of time. And it's not even on the docket. But I did finally watch it because Felix was spoiling all the damn stuff. There's no shade. I love you, but girl, you was spoiling a little too much, and I had to like not read my message. Because a lot of times what I will be honest, I don't like spoilers with a lot of stuff. So if I'm gonna watch something, I want to be able to watch it and experience it within that moment without people spoiling too much. So I did watch it, and here's what I took away from it. So now I appreciate the fact that what, after 30 years, damn near, or is it 30 years? Because when did Selena die? Was it 1994 or 1995? I think it was 95, right? So I believe in 2025, it comes up to on 3 decades she's been behind bars for shooting her. I will say this. I appreciate the fact that, you know what, whether we want to hear it or not, Oxygen provided Yolanda with the platform and her family members that actually believe her. Child, I don't know what the fuck wrong with y'all, but okay. But if y'all want to stand loyal with the crazy lady, be my guest. I understand family. Y'all want to be the problem with Latinos and shit. Y'all are a little too loyal to a fault. Y'all are. I got Latinos in my family, child, so I know. But a shout out to my Spaniard side. But anyway, so I appreciate that she was able to have a platform to tell her truth and all this other stuff and bring up all these accusations about Selena possibly having an affair with a Dr. Martinez or whatever the case was. And apparently he did an interview, I believe, was it with Univision? Where he was spilling tea about his daughter, him having an affair with Selena while she was married to Chris. So I get, we could put all these little seeds out here, but at the end of the day, and how controlling Abraham is, and I truly believe that Abraham wanted Selena was basically like the Matthew Knowles of, that whole situation of Selena y los Dinos. I don't know. What am I saying? So Selena and her whole situation. I understand because he was getting a cut for the music thing. And Selena wanted to do other things. She wanted to do fashion. She had the boutique and all the other stuff. And she was opening up all this other stuff and expanding her brand, which I understand is unusual because back in those days, a lot of artists was not really expanding on the brand and stuff. Sidebar. I kind of wonder also, watching that, J Lo took a lot of that from what Selena was doing and incorporated into her business affairs. Especially when it was like she tried to come out with the fashion line and the music and acting and doing all these things because that whole dynamic didn't become more popular until like the late 90s into the 2000s, where you started seeing musicians branding out into a multitude of different jobs that they were doing. So it wasn't just you had to be a singer or you had to be an actress, which was what it was back in those days. And I feel like because her father, Abraham, wasn't really getting a cut of all that other stuff. He was looking at it as, okay, girl, like this is a pipe dream. This is not really gonna work. You need to really stick to what's working, which is the music. And Selena truly believed in doing all the other stuff. So it's great that, Yolanda wanted to bring all this other stuff up. It was talking about how she had the gun, she showed Selena the gun in the car, and then she returned the gun after Selena was like, I will protect you, like you don't need a gun and all this other stuff because she was scared of her father. And then show like she had these bruises on her because apparently two men beat her up over because I guess she was a little too close to Selena, and I guess Abraham didn't like the fact that Selena was closer to Yolanda, and he felt like he was losing his prized possession and the cash cow. Because quiet as it's kept, Selena was the one that was bringing all that coin up in that family. So that's why it's always a slippery slope when you got these momagers and popagers who you feel like they want to protect you on one hand because it's my child and I don't want them being taken advantage of in this business. But then you get these momagers and popagers who feel like, oh, you owe them because I helped you get here and y'all don't know how to separate being a parent from being a manager, which is why a lot of times it becomes a slippery slope when is you have a parent that's a manager or you got somebody that you marry to that is your manager. This is why y'all got to be real careful with that. And I understand like you want your parent in there to be your protector, your provider and all that stuff and they looking out for you and stuff, but when you get to a certain point in your life where you're transitioning where it's like you're no longer a child, you're not yet a girl, not yet a woman. I had to reference Britney somehow. Where it's like you're transitioning into from a young girl to a woman, then it's like you got to break those tides and all those other things. So it's great that she put all these little seeds out here and we get to hear different sides. Because here's the thing I've always said is Selena's side, it's Yolanda's side, and somewhere in the middle is the truth. But the gag on that is like at the end of the day, it's great that you put all this shit out here. But what does that have to do with the price of tea in China? And the price of tea in China is you shot that girl. You were somebody you was gonna kill yourself, and Selena was leaving. She opens the door, and then you point the gun at her, and then she gets shot. And what was it in the neck? And the blood was all over the door, and then it was trailing outside the hotel. And then she made it into the lobby, and she told him that Yolanda shot her and what room she's in and all this stuff. And that was her last words before she left us on this earth. And so while it's great with putting all that out there, and Yolanda may be vindicated in other ways and saying like, okay, so you basically what I got from the two-parter was Selena's no saint. Well, nobody is. Everybody's got their secrets. There's always different sides to everybody. Nobody is Mary Poppins, perfect in every way. Nobody is like that. No human being. And whether or not she was having an affair or with all this other stuff, Selena's not here to defend herself. So you saying all of this, that's great. And kudos to Oxygen and Peacock, if y'all want to watch it on the streaming service, for providing you this space and the platform. However, you killed this girl. You were caught. You threatened to kill yourself. That man talked you down for the ledge after having them out there for hours, and then you told me that you signed the paper because they was hungry and they wanted to go home, and whatever the case is. Now, if that was the case that that was the lie, then why didn't she using that as a way to like reopen her case or whatever the case is, saying that she was arrested under false pretenses? That's a conversation that should have been had as well. That you saying that you was arrested under false pretense, that what was stated in this note that you signed, this paper that was written out as to what happened the night you killed Selena is not exactly what happened. Then you should have been found a way to get this trial retried. Or maybe she's trying to use this as a way of when 2025 comes around, that this will be her opportunity for parole. And it's great. If you get your parole, and you finally get out of prison. Shout out to you, sis. However, girl, you live in Texas, and you know that they got that whole situation with I guess people get to y'all get to openly carry, and there's all kinds of craziness going on in Texas, Florida, that whole state. Sis, I would rather just stay my ass behind bars instead of being out here in this public with these people. Because, bitch, if you get out of prison, I really feel like there's gonna be some crazy Mexican, because you know it's gonna be a Mexican. All these other people, like she is pretty much the Madonna of Tahana music. So you already know one of your own people gonna come out here and blow your brains out. So I would rather spend the rest of my I'd rather die in prison than be out here in these streets, because it's like the times have changed in the past 30 years. And you trying to get a regular job or be amongst the people, like I guess your family gonna have to take care of you. You gonna have to be basically, I feel like you're gonna have to be secluded in your own house. Like you're not gonna be able to walk out amongst the public and be yourself and live like a regular person. Because I do feel like people do not forget you took someone so prominent away from them and they're gonna take your life. So I would rather stay in jail than be out here and live a regular life. Because, like I said, at the end of the day, you killed that girl, and I don't believe the reasons why you said, "Oh, it went off accident." I don't believe none of that. I do believe Yolanda was in a fit of rage. She was jealous. The fact of the matter was, Selena was the one woman that made you feel, you know, something. Because, and I don't think it had to do with no lesbian bullshit. Y'all always be trying to create this narrative that lesbians or gay people are predators, whatever the case was. I do feel like maybe Yolanda, aesthetically, let's be honest, she ain't a looker. And then you have some, and physically on the outside, like she's shaped like a butterball. Aesthetically in the face, she ain't that pretty. Look, if we're gonna talk, we're gonna talk. And here you have this girl, Selena, that made everybody feel like they were the most important thing in the room based off of what she was saying in the interview. So you have this situation where it's just like, okay, so now she makes me feel like the only, in the words of Rihanna, the only girl in the world. So I'm gonna cherish that. I don't want to let that go. I get to be a part of this ensemble. I get to be a part of this entourage. Here's a big celebrity who really sees me for me, who understands me, who loves me, and I put so much work into all of her businesses and stuff that I don't know. Maybe she got blinded. She had them horse blinders on, and she took advantage of the situation. She was stealing them people's money, pocketing up, but trying to claim like she was using the money to funnel secret trips for Selena and her to go to Mexico while she was having this affair with this doctor. So I'm not believing any of that, because, like I said, at the end of the day, you can put all these receipts and all these accusations about here, but at the end of the day, Selena is not here to defend herself. She's not here to really tell people the tea of what happened. It is the word of a killer getting put out into the public, and that's it. Because, like I said, Selena not here to defend herself, so we'll never know. So while it's cute, like I said at the end of the day, that Yolanda got to tell her side, I don't feel like it's going to change the narrative of the people who watch the interview and really feel like, okay, but you still a scumbag who killed, this talented woman. So that's all I gotta say on that. But I got a lot of comments, child, because while I was talking, I'm like, oh, I'm seeing the comments piling up. Um, wait, hold on, because let me drink this water. I told you I got to stay hydrated through this whole damn interview. That's why I be drinking this big ass thing. Oh, like it look like I'm walking around with a damn tank. Oh, this could be a good murder weapon, wouldn't it? You can smack somebody upside the head with it. It's like, and it's hard too. Let me start giving myself ideas. But anyway, let me see. Did I read that? Oh, yeah, hold on, because I don't want to read the same comment. It said, I don't want to meet Madonna. I've heard stories from gay porn stars that it turned out to be true. She read them for fashion and basically acted like a buffoon. Yeah, I do feel like that too. Like I would never want to meet my idols specifically. I really feel like I would never want to meet Madonna, because I probably have to end up cussing her ass out. Like I feel like I'll be at that point, like, bitch, who you talking to? But I don't give a fuck what your status is. Like I will read you down to the ground. And that's just how my mouth is. But anyway, so oh yeah, next year will be 30 years, he said it. So it's coming out that Kelly Rowland. Oh yeah, I got that story coming up. I have that story coming up. I think that's well, actually, it's not the next topic because I went off on this tangent about Selena, which is not on the docket. But I said, let me just bring that up real quick. But I do have that. I do have that story coming up, and I got all my thoughts on that. J Lo totally did what Selena want. Yeah, so it just seemed like that Jennifer Lopez, all the things that Selena was planning on doing, like with the music and then transition into fashion and all other stuff. Jennifer Lopez literally took a page out of that book based off of her playing that part and incorporated it into her career, and that's why it is what it is today. Because I don't even think Jennifer Lopez even thought about making music until she got that Selena part. And whoever her team was, I don't know, it might have been Benny Medina was with her from the beginning, but he was like, you know what, we really need to capitalize on this moment because you did so well in this movie. You're getting rave reviews. You're a performer, so clearly she was born to play that part. Like Jennifer Lopez, in my opinion, ate that. She bodied that role and playing Selena. I love that movie still. Like that's one of my favorite all time favorite biopics is the Selena movie. I still watch that. But and to me it's like it was smart for her to capitalize, even though, they be saying she's a plant from going up against Mariah Carey. That's what Tommy Mottola, put her in the music industry, and she had a horrible record contract. But that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. And this is from somebody who actually knew people in the industry that told him this. So I don't, I ain't gonna reveal my sources. So I could probably see why she went and spent that $20 million on that vanity project she had over there on what is it? Prime Video. And it's funny because Robert was telling me he saw the video for one of her songs today. I think it's called Rebound. And he's like, the video makes no damn sense. I said, child, try watching the movie with the video in it. It don't make no damn sense. But it does seem weird, like when you watch those clips and they put it up there and you actually watch the video, it's her in the glass house and with the cute dance I was telling you about and cuts the rope and all that stuff. Like, but whatever. I don't want to go on this tangent about J-Lo. I'm tired of talking about her. So yeah, I was saying, why didn't Abraham act more emotional, even interviews the day? Yeah, and that was another one. I'm glad you brought that up because it was like, well, wait a minute. So why is he doing press conferences the day of his daughter's death and basically pinning this immediately on Yolanda? So there was a lot more that I feel like that was going on that we don't know about. And this is why I told y'all I had someone who, when I posted something about this at first, before I even did the story, I think I posted an article on my Facebook page from my website. And one of the people said that a lot of people in Corpus Christi that grew up in that area truly believe, excuse me, that Abraham had something to do with Selena's death. And I'm like, that's crazy if it but look, stranger things have happened. I don't put nothing past these celebrities or people in general when it comes to their kids, because we gonna talk about. Wait, did I bring that story up? I totally forgot. Damn, I forgot. I was supposed to bring up the Monique video. I totally forgot to bring that, but we got to say that for a whole nother another time. Because I think that was one of the stories I want to bring up too. But Monique going in on her son in the video of her calling him, the N word and mother and the every other word, MFer and all that other mess, and how she went and did stand up. But I was waiting for the moment sidebar of the guy. Remember that episode RuPaul's Drag Race when they did the comedy special? It was what was it, season 6, season 7, the one with Bianca Del Rio and Ben De La Creme got up there and was telling a long ass joke, and then the guy shouts out, "So tell us a joke." That's literally how I felt watching any clips regarding Monique. Like, she don't tell jokes. She gets up there, she cusses, and y'all be thinking saying the N word and motherfucker every other word requires comedy. And remember when that same episode a door got read because it was like you were funny, but you kept just every other word. And that's a sign of insecurity. Like there's a nervousness, insecurity, whatever, that every other word you got to be dropping, it got to be profanity. So I don't understand why people got to do all that. And then Felix says Selena was killed 3 days after I turned 19. She might be up there with Casey Anthony if free. I watch her Peacock documentary. She can't work and do any normal citizen activity. She basically living in one of her lawyer houses that he. Ew, how you living in your lawyer? And so he's basically taking care of her. I heard, well, somebody paid for that trip because if you ain't working, how you paying to go to Disney World? family cousin Casey Anthony, but it shows you that Casey is living in seclusion and basically have to rely on friends for nope. And that's why I said I'd rather you keep my ass locked up. I don't want to come out of jail if it's gonna be like that because it's like basically you're going from, in my opinion, you're going from one prison to another. Like you're not even like living your best life, and um yeah, I just don't feel like you living you're actually living because it's like okay, yeah, I'm free, but I'm still having to live in seclusion. Like that, I'd rather just keep my ass in prison because if I can't go to the store, if I can't like support myself after getting out of prison and starting, if I don't have the ability to start over, well, what's the point of me being out here in public with these people? Like I don't get it. And no shade, J-Lo lines and perfume lines fail. Benny needs to fund other clients, but how he managed Mariah Carey and J-Lo at the same time has me questioning how that was possible. And that's why she probably said too that Benny gonna be mad if she said that this gonna be her final album. Because I said, what other clients he got? Like who else is he making coins off of besides Jennifer Lopez? He the only one. I feel like the only artist that's keeping him employed. So J Lo gotta be like a damn typical Puerto Rican or Jamaican and have like a multitude of jobs. It's our mutual crystal, is she? Oh yeah, so it was season 6 of Drag Race. I feel like Monique treats her audience so well. Look, this is why therapy sessions should be with your therapist and not be using your fans. Because what pissed me off in that video too. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do another show where we bring that up because I meant to bring that on, but I feel like it was so many topics we had to get to today that some stuff had to be thrown by the wayside. But I just feel like, and then with people sitting up in there co-signing, yeah, F that N-word. Like, people was literally saying that about her on her own. I said, clearly, either you a horrible fucking mother, that bitch in the background that was co-signing, or you ain't got no kids and you co-sign it. Like, I don't understand people that co-sign off the fact that if a child is hurting or whatever, that you say F that child. That child did not ask to be born or brought into this world. So people doing that shit, no. Some of you, this is why I said some of y'all bitches out here and men. Some of your men need to be born sterile, and some of you bitches, y'all eggs need to be. Then y'all need to come out the gate powdered because not everybody out here should be out here having children, especially the way y'all be out here treating these kids and why wonder why y'all baby kids be so fucked up. But Felix also said that, but yeah, but is Tyra working? Like, what Tyra doing? I don't even know if that's her manager anymore. Because Tyra ain't really out here doing that. I know she's doing like business stuff behind the scenes, but I don't even know if that's technically her manager anymore. Because as far as talent, Tyra really took a back seat on the whole talent department. Like, she don't work for Dancing with the Stars, as Robert said. What is she doing? Not a damn thing. I mean, I know she's probably doing. I know she's talking about she been doing business. I don't even have time to Google schmoo because I can care less about Tyra. I loved her back in the day, but girl, I done moved on from Tyra ages ago. But anyway, so we got other comments. Oh, so that's what it was. It was the ice cream company. Well, how's that ice cream? Do anybody even know where to get it? I don't even know what it's called. But anyway, so yeah, let's move on because that, like I said, that show was even on the that topic was even on the docket, and we're already 45 minutes into the show, and I haven't even gotten through half of my damn topics. This what happens when I take a couple of days off. I be rusty, or is it rusty, or is it just I'm rambling, or it's just we just do whatever. It don't, time is not of the essence when you on the YouTube and you live stream. You can do your show as long as you want. So let me not judge myself or beat up myself too much because I'm taking too long to get to each topic. But whatever. I appreciate those of y'all in the comments, as with the back and forth. But anyway, let's move on and let's talk about Usher and them and Thief. As they like to call Beyonce, Thief Beyonce, because look, Tiffany Red took to social media to call out singers for their unfair business practices. Now, the Spain born writer initially began calling out many artists who received credit for writing a song when they factually didn't partake in the writing process. Tiffany listed Tamar Braxton, Zendaya, Seven Streeter, and Beyonce for taking percentages of publishing that weren't rightfully theirs. The outspoken artist then called on Bey to modernize her music business. While she did admit that she has never worked with Beyonce, Red asserted that it was because she heard about her unfair practices. Um, she said, and I quote, and I'm gonna read her quotes and I do have a clip of one thing that I think she retaliated because a lot of people was dragging her over the fact of her speaking out on these celebrities. But I feel like if you work in these spaces, if you are someone who's income depends on writing, because they say that's where the true money is. The true money is in the songwriting and stuff. Then these people should have a right to speak out on y'all faves who are low key stealing percentages, taking high percentages of songs that they didn't write. But I have a shorter clip, but the full clip goes on for a good, at least a good 15 minutes. But I do have the video on my website, chrisavalon.com. So if I want to see the full one, y'all could go over there and see that. But she said this. She said, the reason I called out Beyonce is because Beyonce is the Michael Jackson of our generation. I talked to somebody yesterday who's the manager of somebody who's a writer and producer on Renaissance. The record is one of y'all faves. The song was written 6 years before it got to Beyonce. She got 25% of the song. I want to know what song it is that y'all talking about. Because if you read the writing credits, don't it sound like she got like 75 damn writers and stuff? But in between the sample clearances and all other stuff, there's a lot of writers on there. So I get lost in the like after I read the first 5 or 6 writers, I'm like, okay, this is too much. Like, I don't even care anymore. But if you're being jacked and taken advantage of, I say get your coin and speak out about it. But anyway, so she said, I spoke to another writer who wrote and sang on one of y'all fame songs. Credit not right, his business all effed up. Beyonce was on tour last year with that record, with that person's vocals. The reason why people who work for Beyonce don't talk is they're all on NDAs, because that's how she works. She silences people so that nobody can speak. She then attacked Beyonce allegedly predatory business practices and expressed that her way of working was founded on outdated power dynamics within the music industry. Tiffany stated that while Bey is a representation of Black excellence, she exploits her Black songwriters and puts their livelihoods in danger. Then Red included a now deleted screenshot of the conversation between herself and a writer. According to Black Enterprise, the writer allegedly wrote for Bey and Usher. After Tiffany was shocked that an artist taking 30% of the publishing, CC asked, who's taking 30? That's so much. The person disclosed that that percentage was set aside for Knowles Carter. Beyonce and Usher, they responded, I was told when I first worked with her, it's 30 off the top, and she's taking production. Usher is 25% off the top. Red continued her onslaught across social media, hoping that Bey would do the right thing on her next album, Act Two, saying that I hope that on Act Two, Beyonce will hashtag pay songwriters a songwriter fee and master points and not take publishing and songwriting credit for all songs she did not write. And you know what? For over the years, Beyonce has always been called out for stealing songs. Because remember when Irreplaceable came out and she said, oh yeah, I wrote that song. And wait a minute, it was like, first of all, when you listen to that song, you would definitely hear Neo all over that. The way Neo has no shade, but all Neo's music sounds alike. He has a distinct sound and a distinct way that he writes. A lot of his production, all of that other stuff sounds similar to all the songs that he has put out over the years. So clearly, Beyonce has this habit of running around here, and it's not just her. It's all those artists that have been mentioned and many more. There's a lot of people out here that are notorious for stealing, other people's music. And to me, it's not right. It's the fact that when you have these people who are down here and you're up here, the fact of the matter is y'all should be fair and give people their songwriting credit. That's why I love people like Kylie Minogue. If she writes a song, she is not staking claim on it. Padam Padam, one of the biggest damn songs so far, I won't say in her career ever, but it is one of the biggest songs that she came out with in 2023. She didn't write the song. You do not see her name on that damn song. And she gave credit to the people that wrote the song, even though Boy George out here stealing her damn album cover from Tension and claiming he wrote Panam. I'm like, Queen, get off my goddamn line. You ain't write that fucking song. First of all, that song Religion, we heard that piece of shit. You can't tell me that you wrote Panam if you gave us that mess. But anyway, back to this shit. I don't like there seems to be an ongoing situation. Ooh, excuse me, where you have these bigger celebrities who don't write music that want to sit and eat off of these people's livelihood. And the fact of the matter is, the main goal for someone who's a songwriter is that they'll be able to write enough songs, because that's taking a lot out of you. That's coming from your experience. The creativity is pouring into your head and into your pen, and you're writing that down and you're creating art. If I'm a painter and I paint something that's exquisite or make a sculpture, and then I have somebody come along and just steal my shit when knowing full on well you didn't paint it or you didn't sculpt it. Why the fuck do I? And this is what pissed me off when Miss Doniba lazy ass was up on social media on his show yesterday talking about, well, y'all need to go get a job at Uber Eats and those other stuff if y'all not get. No, first of all, you don't get to run around stealing my shit and expect that I'm just supposed to tolerate it and be okay with it. It's like, no, I shouldn't have to go get a job at Uber Eats because quiet as it's kept. I read the article maybe a year or two ago where there was people that was speaking out about this very thing, and they said that they've had to resort to taking a waiter job or doing Uber Eats or doing a side hustle or whatever the case is because the money was not coming in for those, those songs that they've been writing. And then on top of that, um, I understand like it comes down to, there's so many layers, especially when it comes to this music business. Like there's so many lawyers that are involved, especially like when they be wanting y'all to sign them contract. Never sign a contract where it's like the lawyer of the label is dealing with it because they work for the label. They don't work for you. Get your own lawyer, get your own entertainment lawyer, and all these other people that you need to go in place or ask questions. This is why shout out to T.S. Madison because she mentioned this the other day. I think it was yesterday on her Maddie in the Morning when she was talking about the whole be cozy in that situation. She said when to get her likeness used for Beyonce, she said her lawyer had to fight to even have her voice be used on that song and the getting the Grammy and all that other stuff. So it's always all I think it's also it boils down to get you a good attorney that knows what they're doing and knows how to fight for what they need to fight for. Your manager and your lawyer. Make sure they know what they're going in for and know what they have to fight in order to get you what you need to get. So that way you're not getting taken advantage of. Because a lot of times there's a lot of hustlers, scammers, all kinds of people that will take advantage of someone who is not aware of the business practices and how things work in regards to this music business. Because I do hate the fact that a lot of these celebrities run around about, oh yeah, I wrote this song and I was in this thing when this happened. And it's like, bitch, you ain't right now. One damn song. I was in a damn studio for a week, wrote you at least a good 6 songs, and them songs that you use, you want to sit up in here and get a writing credit because you added and the. Fuck out of here. Like, no, bitch, you're not getting a percentage of nothing. So it's either, and then if that happens, then it's like you don't get to sell the song. So a lot of times these people will, just to be able to say, oh yeah, I had Beyonce is on this song, or I wrote a song that Usher is on his big name. A lot of it is about the clout, a lot of it is about the name recognition rather than the actual situation. And they play into that, which is why a lot of times you hear so many songwriters talking about how they don't have no money and that they're broke. So no, people shouldn't have to resort to working a regular job because they're being taken advantage of by a big celebrity. That's some bullshit. I'm not putting up with that. So kudos to Tiffany Red for speaking out. And here's the thing: Beyonce is not above reproach. She is not the Queen of Sheba. She is not God. She is not any of that. She's a human fucking being, even though she tried to present herself like she's this deity above all things. If you out here stealing from people and taking advantage of your own fucking people for a check, like you need to be called out for it. Because it's quite obvious she's a capitalist. Like all this money that she $30 million she making to perform in Dubai, or 20 million plus to do a damn Verizon commercial so she can go viral. So it's like, when is enough enough with your pockets? Like you have more money than any of us, me particularly, will ever see in my lifetime. So at what point is it enough money that you got in your wallet? Like how about at this point we really be out here sharing the wealth? And look, Khalees trying to tell y'all when she tried to use her name without her likeness, and y'all drag Khalees. Why? Because Khalees should be grateful that Beyonce sampled her on one of her songs. But if you're not paying me my coin, then bitch, take me off your shit. I don't give a fuck who you are. And we know Khalees is that girl when it comes to the talent. She has broken many boundaries when it comes to genre hopping and different things. When it came to the rock, it came to the dance music, all this stuff that Beyonce's getting credit for. Didn't Khalees do that shit before her a decade prior? So y'all can give her accolades and those other stuff all she wants. And yeah, I'm glad that she's breaking all the boundaries. But there have been other girls that have done this shit before her, but because she's in a position of power and all this other stuff, she's getting more of the credit. So good luck to y'all. Oh wait, I forgot. I totally forgot to play the clip. After talking all that stuff. So let me play this Tiffany Red clip real quick.
There's so many people that are saying, these songwriters don't have to work with Beyonce if they don't want to. No one's holding a gun to their head. The opportunity is the gun to their head. To walk away from your opportunities is a privilege that everyone does not have. Doesn't have the high power manager or the high power lawyer to negotiate these fire ass deals, right? So when you go in there, you're by yourself and you're negotiating with somebody like Beyonce and Beyonce's team, negotiating and being like, no, I don't want you to take 25% of the publishing because you didn't write on this song. It's not that simple. It just isn't. And who are the easiest people to exploit? Marginalized people don't have the resources to fight back, to negotiate favorable deals, or to walk away and say no and possibly burn a bridge or get ostracized or lose other opportunities. And Beyonce has the opportunity to be different, better. This is a choice, it's a decision. And Beyonce is not above being held accountable for her business practices. She is the biggest artist in the world, one of the richest artists in the world. She can choose to do better business. There's so many people that are saying, these songwriters don't have to work with Beyonce if they don't want to.
Okay. So yeah. So y'all got the gist. And that is true, is the fact that when you, like I said before, when you have someone who is in a position of power, like a Beyonce, and she's walking in with, let's say, three of most prominent high profile lawyers that money could buy, because she is someone who has that billionaire status. And then you got little old me, who's so eager to just get my music out there and get into a room with a major celebrity that I can write songs with and get my music heard amongst millions. And then you basically trying to play me and cheat me out of the money that I deserve. That's a problem. Because one of the things people have to learn, especially in this business, of which I have learned for as long as I've been doing this, is that there is no manual to how you can maneuver and navigate in the entertainment industry. This is on a job training. So you learn as you go. And a lot of times you learn with the mistakes and the fuck ups and the people when they take advantage of all this other shit. That's when you learn. Because you're not going I know a lot of people is not really gonna teach you the real shit. And luckily, I've been around enough producers and stuff behind the scenes where, you know, and I was finished with film school and I worked with VH1 that I learned so much from a lot of the managers. So shout out to like Keisha Williams, Matt Trumbull, Tony Moran, a lot of the producers that I worked with at VH1, they taught me a lot of stuff that was going on behind the scenes and stuff to look out for and all those other. So shout out to them, shout out to Vidians, because I remember I was going to Vidians and they would edit all the videos and stuff, and I would learn stuff from those people as well. So getting to hang out with the people behind the scenes and the producers and really understanding how this business works is how I learn a lot of things. And you don't get those opportunities to come your way a lot. So a lot of it is, yes, like I said, on the job training. You really don't learn, because it's like when I went to film school, you learn one thing, but once you get out in that real world and you work, I'm like, so all this shit I was learning in school, like none of this is applied, which made me realize college is a damn scam. All this stuff that I'm realizing I'm working in real life, none of this is applied from what I learned in film school, because even with the stuff that I was using, like the Final Cut and stuff, they weren't even using that edit stuff. They weren't even using that software when I went to VH1. They wasn't even using that. They was using something else. I forgot what it was that they was using, but they was not using Final Cut. Um, but anyway, so yeah, so I say all this to say is it's like you never truly understand. And so that's why it's good to, like, instead of a lot of y'all running around here trying to throw shade at Tiffany Red because she's the little person that's speaking out against, she's the David speaking out against Goliath. Let's put it in that metaphor. Um, that her feelings and her opinion is invalid. Like I said, Beyonce and the rest of these celebrities are not above reproach. Y'all are not. You're not. You're not a god. You're not a deity. You are not the queen of goddamn Sheba. And even if you was, you still need to be called out for y'all thievery. So for those of y'all that are interested in getting in this business and working with a lot of these big name celebrities and getting y'all art, into the rooms and being able to write for these people, y'all need to listen to the Tiffany Reds and really look out and watch these videos so that way y'all know what y'all need to do and go in, especially so that way y'all don't get taken advantage of. That's what y'all really need to be paying attention. All these other people that just want to sit up there and beat up these celebrities' asses, hoping that they get invited to the cookout that y'all will never be invited to, these elite cookouts. Y'all can continue to be minions and blind about the bullshit. But for those of y'all out here who really want to learn some shit, listen to these Tiffany Reds and all these other celebrities. I mean, these other people that work behind the scenes that be calling these celebrities out on the shady shit they be doing behind the scenes. So, I mean, that was a long segment, but let's move on. But we got some comments. She has, oh yeah, you said that right. That's my, oh, is that what it's called? Smiles? Well, Sailor Mermaid is here. So my, hey. I said, well, if you saw the video of Maya saying, well, oh yeah, I did see that video of Maya talking about why she left the music industry. And she insinuated, she said, I wasn't willing to compromise who I was as a woman to become this big superstar. And I think there was a lot of rumors that were running around that Maya was out here sleeping with dudes for beats. Now y'all got her confused with Christina Aguilera. Please hold. But no, Maya was not that girl that was out here being a hoe for a career. Um, but anyway, to conclude, Maya was not willing to compromise her talent and all this other stuff so that way, because there'd be a lot of shady, crazy stuff that be going on behind the scene with these nasty, perverted ass producers that be taking advantage of these girls or whatever for to be recording music. Y'all, a lot of y'all be thinking that a lot of these people, celebrities, be walking up in the room and just be recording music and they go home. No, it'd be all kinds of shenanigans that be going on behind the scenes. And so I did see that video with Maya. I forgot where I saw it, but I think I was scrolling through Instagram and it popped up in my timeline, and I believe I reposted it in my stories. Okay, so now let's move on because we had just talked about Beyonce. Let's talk about that other Destiny's Child, one of the other Destiny's Children, Kelly Rowland. So Kelly Rowland's rep, because we've been, we don't need to do a whole recap, but I'm gonna just do a quick one. So you already heard the tea about Kelly Rowland leaving the Today Show because apparently there was some stuff that happened behind the scenes that caused her to leave. So she left the show. She was supposed to co-host the fourth hour with Hoda. And that didn't happen because I guess something happened behind the scenes. They were trying to say it was over a dressing room. But here's the thing, Kelly has been on that show enough times. She knows the tea of what the deal is that goes on that show. And apparently, I believe something else happened, but Kelly hasn't spoken out. Then Bethany Frankel, aka the Crypt Keeper, decided to jump her little skinny ass, wrinkly looking at child. That lady look old as hell. You know what? Shout out to the white people, but girl, she the one that who somebody to get her to the good surgeon because Miss Mama, you are aging like rotten milk. And not even the good kind. You not even soy, not what's the other? Not oat milk, milk, the 2% kind. But anyway, so Miss Mama decided to assert herself in the conversation. People was calling Bethany out because they said that she always got microaggressions when it comes to Black women. And you want to know something? That crossed my mind, but I didn't want to really go there. But you know what? Upon further investigation and really thinking about it, a lot of y'all are right in that. I do feel like whenever it comes to Black women, this bitch always got something to say. And I don't give a fuck if you cute or whatever, if you cordial with Nene Leakes. Nene Leakes is not the overall, representation of all Black women. She's not. So just because you got a couple of good Black friends, and I don't know many of them, except when you was, you had a little moment with Nene on your podcast. But other than that, stay out of grown Black folk business. I'm tired of people, y'all. A lot of y'all white women, and I love my allies, but y'all need to speak when spoken to. Y'all need to jump in when you understand the whole situation. So I understand, like, you wanted to come in and make it all about, oh well, when it comes to the Today Show, it's not necessarily about the rooms and stuff. You're supposed to come on and you should be glad and you should be grateful that you're going to be there and all other stuff. But here's the thing: Kelly Rowland has every right to feel how she feels. Something happened behind the scenes. I did hear that it was because Samantha Guthrie asked her about Beyonce and the whole country album that she has coming out, her thoughts on it. Which, on one hand, I could possibly believe, but I don't necessarily. I'm gonna tell you why I possibly believe that. Unless she may have taken offense, because around that same time, she went on Big Tigger's show, and she had to get him together because he had asked her about a possible Destiny's Child reunion. And I know every time she go on these damn shows, she's sick and tired of being, regardless of what she does, she come out with a new album, she doing a movie, she producing something, any kind of project that Kelly has that separates herself from fucking Beyonce. Y'all want to always ask her about Beyonce. And I get it because Kelly Rowland is 6 degrees of Beyonce. So, and Beyonce don't talk. The most talking she ever did was in that damn Verizon commercial that just came out during the Super Bowl. That's the most talking we ever heard Beyonce do. But for the most part, Beyonce don't talk. But that ain't got shit to do with Kelly. Kelly need to be able to distinguish and do her own thing. 30 years in this game, at some point, y'all gotta respect me as an artist enough that I can be separated from whatever the fuck Beyonce is doing. Y'all gotta stop always dragging Kelly into Beyonce's stuff. Just because Beyonce don't want to talk to you motherfuckers don't necessarily mean y'all always gotta drag Kelly into the situation. So I definitely feel her on that. So this morning, because I was putting this story together, then I saw there was a story that Kelly's rep spoke out. So I was like, ooh, that's the perfect time to get up on here and spill this tea. So Kelly's rep, Yvette Noel Shore, told Entertainment Tonight the following comment. She said the following. She said, after 28 years of knowing her, Kelly Rowland remains one of the kindest, most amiable humans I've ever met. Is that admirable? I think they meant, because what's amiable? I may have to look that up. I don't have an Alexa, so I can't ask her. But anyway, so I think she met most, I'll say, admirable humans I've ever met and have had the blessing to represent. Now, page 6, spilled the news that she left co-anchor Hoda Kotb in the lurch by leaving the morning show. And then they said it because she didn't like the dressing room. And then Rita Ora, they tried to make it so, oh, well, Rita Ora, we had to call her up real quick. First of all, y'all miss me with the bullshit. Because Rita Ora was all over the place. She did The View too. So this how I knew this was some bullshit. Rita Ora was already supposed to be on the Today Show because she is replacing Nicole Scherzinger on The Masked Singer. So she's been running around promoting her new stint as a judge on The Masked Singer. So that's why she's been all over the place. So Rita was in town. I did not like the fact that Rita decided to jump in and try to automatically defend the Today Show. So y'all put out this narrative that Kelly's being this diva. Why am I thinking? What she said, she ain't no diva. Oh, that automatically popped in my head. But excuse me. So I don't know. I just feel like it'd be cool if Kelly actually came out and said what happened. And you know what? Shout out to Sherry Shepherd, Shady Behind. And I'm gonna pull this clip up because Sherry was like, oh, Kelly's here. Oh, let me go. Oh wait, hold on. Why is speaking of Alexa? I said I don't have Alexa, right? But now my phone has a Alexa sort of thing. It has Siri on it. So now all of a sudden my Siri sort of acted up. But anyway, Sherry shady, but I live for it because Sherry went and I saw the clip online of her bringing oh wait, she here? Let me go run in the room and see her, and it made sure y'all seen the size of her damn dressing room. So Sherry, you crafty for that. I got to give it up to her. But shout out to you for making sure that your guests are accommodated. But hold on, let me pull this clip up because all of a sudden I forgot how to share my damn screen.
Here. Oh my gosh. Yes. I was like, what? Kelly, Sherry. Okay, I gotta go get dressed. Look at you. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad. Damn, they gotta go get some more clothes. Is this how we doing it now? You look amazing. You so all right, girl, I got 12 minutes. I gotta put on these girdles and get us nice. Oh, Kelly's here?
Okay, so yeah, we had to do that. And then you had Hoda pick me ass because Hoda give no shade, but Hoda give me Nikki Haley tease, or should I call her Nimrata? Because it's like when y'all some colored women who, when y'all get to a certain plateau and y'all get in certain spaces with them white folks, all of a sudden y'all forget that y'all are people of color and y'all try to overlook that shit. So how to give me Nimrata tease in the fact of y'all will sell your own people up the river just so that way y'all could be included in the white spaces for their coin. So I wanted to look for what Hoda said, because I think this is why the rep for Kelly came out and said what she said. So she said, I just want to say this. I have great love and admiration for Kelly Rowland. I adore her and I want her to come back on our show and I want her to host again. This is what she said on Today with Hoda and Jenna. And Jenna Bush Hager, who had taken the day off last Thursday when Rowland was set to fill in, agreed that the singer is welcome anytime, adding she's the best. That I really needed this today. Author even offered to share her dressing room. First of all, I shouldn't have to be sharing shit with no damn body. I shouldn't. So, what it was, and I really feel like this is the true tea, and this is why Kelly's not speaking. My thing is this: if Jennifer Lopez is there for a segment, Jennifer Lopez and her fucking team need to be given a smaller damn dressing room. If I'm there to be doing a segment, plus I'm the guest talent that's supposed to be co-hosting your hour, I should be given, no shade, the bigger dressing room. Or I should be given something where it's going to accommodate me and my team. I shouldn't have to be treated like the ugly stepchild. And we know Hollywood, y'all love to play into this um, high school bullshit. I'm trying to think of the perfect term to put it, but y'all like to play into this high schoolness where y'all will go and be like, well, Kelly Rowland's not an A-list celebrity, even though she's been putting it down and she's a Grammy winner and all this other stuff, but she's been doing what she's been doing for 3 decades. Y'all look at it as because Jennifer Lopez is this big superstar because she's in those spaces where she gets invited to the Oscars and she's married to a white man, Ben Affleck. Let's not forget that. So when you get into, and to me, should I say, you know what? Fuck it. This is called Chris Avalon the Filter. I truly believe her relationship with Ben Affleck is a business arrangement. I truly feel because Ben Affleck he takes up space within the Hollywood elite, and Jennifer Lopez has never been taken seriously as an actress, as a singer, as anything that she does. So yeah, she may work hard and stuff. And I believe wasn't there a little documentary on Netflix that talked about this, that regardless of what she's done, and even when she thought she was going to get a nomination for Hustlers and she was overlooked, I don't even think she was with Ben at the time when that happened, was she? Um, and she got overlooked. She was like, "Oh, it wasn't necessarily about me. It was for my team." Girl, you were saying that because the cameras was on, but I know you was tight. You was really expecting the fact that they was going to finally take your ass seriously as an actress, and you was going to get that Oscar. But they overlooked her yet again because they felt like, I guess, her performance wasn't strong enough. So I truly feel like a lot of the moves that she does is all because it's to help the next level of business. It's never about if she really in love or something. It's business arrangements. It's kind of like with the music thing. Nobody was really taking her seriously as a singer and shit until Mark Anthony got up in her and made her take some damn vocal lessons and train her on how to properly speak Spanish, which I know a lot of my Spanish friends still read her over her enunciation on certain things. But at least she's working hard and she tries. So my friends be like, oh, bitch, like the Spanish is not, it ain't doing what needs to be done. But for the most part, she does what she does, and that's it. But for the most part, like I said, Kelly Rowland should have been given the bigger room. And I feel like we're never going to really know what the true tea is in regards of why, what had happened. Like, I really feel like at this point, like I said, Kelly needs to speak up. But I feel like because Kelly is someone who is a gracious person, whatever, she's not going to speak out and she's not going to tell us what really happened. So we just gonna have to speculate. But I just don't like the fact that this narrative has been painted for Kelly, that she is like this diva that can't be compromised or work. But at the same time, as Black people, Black artists, we in a time where we just no longer going to sit and just put up with bullshit and compromise. So I love the fact that a lot of Black talent is not going to be like, you know what, I'm just going to accept whatever has been given to me. That I'm just going to have to be grateful enough that I'm invited into these white spaces, aka mainstream space. So I should just be grateful that I'm getting to participate in these spaces, but I have to compromise who I am, and I gotta deal with a walk-in closet for a dressing room with my team of people because, oh, this is the opportunity of a lifetime. Well, Kelly got a whole lot of shit, and she don't need to depend on the Today Show, like Bethany does. So Bethany, you can be grateful for whatever crumbs they give you. But if I'm at a certain status in my career, I shouldn't have to put up because if Jennifer Lopez ain't got to put up with that bullshit, then neither should Kelly Rowland. That's all I'm gonna say on that. So we have comments. So it says, yeah, it was called halftime, but when she was about to do the halftime show, oh yeah, that was the halftime thing with Netflix, but she did that and she was trying to give an Academy Award winning performance throughout that documentary. Ben does not seem in love with her. He never looks happy. Yeah, and that's why that's why he be chain smoking so damn much. It's like the total opposite of Carrie Bradshaw and Aiden. Like Aiden hated when Carrie smoked. But Carrie was out there chain smoking. She couldn't give up them cigarettes. And then when Big came in the picture and he was messing with old girl from, was it? Damn, what was her name? The who turned out, she had a baby with Giselle Bundchen's ex-husband, the actress. What the hell's her name? Michelle Monaghan? Is that her? No, that's not her. But it was the actress that she's on Blue Bloods and she had a baby with damn, how to forget the damn the football player's name that that was married to Giselle. But yeah, she played Big's wife on season, what was it, season 3 or season 4? One of the damn season, Sex in the City, and they was out here just hunching each other, and then her dumb ass went and told Aiden. I'm like, bitch, you had a good thing going with that man, and you went and told him because you had to clear your conscience. I'd have dumped your ass too. Why am I going on a tangent about Sex in the City? But anyway, nevertheless, let's get back to the show. Tom Brady. I don't know why. I'm thinking. I don't know why Tony Romo was in my head, but it's Tom Brady. That's what I was thinking about. But his first big. I don't know if they was ever married, but then apparently he had the affair with Giselle. I think that was the T. But he had a baby with her. Yeah. Now it's funny. As soon as I remember Tom Brady, Felix says Tom Brady. But anyway, so let's get back to the show. Um, let's talk about Nicki Minaj because we got 2 Nicki Minaj stories. So people who have been harassed by Nicki Minaj's Barbz are speaking out and lawyering up after their personal information was exposed online. Now, according to an article published by Time, several individuals who spoke out in response to Minaj's diss track Bigfoot say they were doxxed by Minaj's fan base known as the Barbz in retaliation. Per the Atlantic, doxing is a term that refers to the recovering and deliberate weaponization of private and personal information. Now, the victims are reportedly looking for ways to legally defend themselves by gathering as many details as possible about the people who shared their personal details online. Now, Eric Lewis, or I should say Eric Louise, a creator on TikTok, told Tom that a day after uploading a video criticizing Minaj's Bigfoot track, he got a call from his brother saying that a pizza that no one ordered has been delivered to him. Suddenly, Lewis's phone was blown calls by unknown numbers. My phone starts blowing up with text messages and I'm getting FaceTime calls back to back to back. Says Lewis 24. It was a hectic situation to be in. I was nervous and on the edge the whole time. My heart dropped to my stomach, added Lewis. I was thinking of the various ways it could have escalated and how this not only endangered my life had I been there, but also the lives of my mother and my 2 younger brothers who was in the house. They are people I'm responsible for. A former Minaj fan, Bella Delgado, told the magazine that they once ran fan accounts for the rapper in 2017. Saying once she started associating herself with certain people, I couldn't really defend her anymore. Excuse me. Says Delgado, referring to people like Tekashi 6ix9ine, who pled guilty to using a minor for a sexual performance. Not only that, but her brother, that husband, and a whole bunch of others. So Nicki Minaj clearly likes being around sex offenders. But let's continue. So it says Delgado uploaded, then deleted a 2-minute video response about being disappointed in Minaj following the release of Bigfoot. It didn't take long for the harassment to come towards them and their family members. They were sending pretty graphic messages, fantasizing about what they would like to do to me. It got pretty out of hand pretty fast. If you do something to me, that's me. Whereas I'm seeing addresses for distant family members or people I don't even know. Now it's people that I have nothing to do with, and their safety is resting on my conscience. Delgado continued, it was an interesting experience being attacked by a fan base I used to be a part of. Some other stan haters I used to be mutuals with at one point trying to dox me. Some of these fan accounts I recognized from 2017 and before. I just thought, wow, you're still at it? On the other hand, Lewis said he was able to track down the person who doxed him and threatened to file a report. Child, I wouldn't even threaten. I'd have just fucking did it. So just like they didn't give you a heads up with um how they was doxing you and harassing you and putting your family and yourself in danger. I'm not giving nobody a fucking warning. I'm going to the cops and I'm taking all you bitches down. So basically, he said that he threatened to file a report with the cybercrime division of the FBI. Now, after some back and forth with Lewis and an alleged admission on X Spaces, an audio conversation platform, the woman subsequently deleted her account. Now, Ebony Jasmine Harris shared a similar experience with the publication, where she was doxxed after uploading a video of herself performing a diss at Minaj from the perspective of Megan. They started ordering pizzas and salads and shit to my parents' house. They were contacting my parents' jobs and harassing my parents. First of all, if anybody's going to order food and send it to my house, I'm gonna eat that shit. I'm like, first of all, I love salad and I love pizza. So if y'all paying for this shit out your own fucking pocket and you want to be stupid enough to send that shit to me, I'm gonna eat it. But you come on my property and you try me, ain't no guarantee you actually gonna live to see tomorrow. I'm gonna just put that out there. So she said they started ordering pizzas and salads and shit to my parents' house. They were contacting my parents' jobs and harassing my parents because my phone number is not listed. Added that a fan managed to send her video footage from outside her gated community. They're doing the absolute best to try and get accounts taken down to make people feel scared and intimidated to speak out. I feel that if Minaj chooses to use her power negatively, then she has the ability to stop them from doing this, and she refuses to speak out against it. It says more about her as an individual. Now, according to entertainment attorney Lauren Kilgore, there is no clear-cut path for obtaining justice for doxing victims, saying that the legislative landscape is nuanced and uncertain, especially with ongoing discussions of Congress about crafting anti-doxing legislation that must delicately balance free speech rights against privacy protections. This becomes particularly relevant when the information shared is already publicly accessible, albeit repurposed or cause harm. Now, that's some bullshit. Because first of all, how is it that this is okay for people to harass and to put your personal information out there and threaten to do whatever it is that they threaten? Because I don't see, I won't sit and say that they don't be threatening people's lives, because they do. Like, I've read some of the posts online, but they be telling people to unalive themselves and all this other stuff. But here's the thing, like I was talking about Beyonce and the rest of them, Nicki is not above reproach either. And the fact is, yesterday I believe she posted on her social media, like, she's thanking her fans for going against her ops. And to me, it's just like, what are you doing? Like, you should be focused on this tour and actually showing people why you're the most talented person in the world, but your insecurity and all this sabotage and stuff that you're projecting is why a lot of people in the business don't like messing with her anymore. And it's unfortunate that this is where she is in at this stage in her career. Now, this is why I also say, like, the industry, well, the not even the industry, but I feel like the FBI, the government, y'all really need to catch up with technology and what's going on in the world, because it seems outdated. Y'all keep doing these BS little press conferences where y'all want to hang, Mark Zuckerberg over some bullshit about this stuff, but do y'all have all these people in Congress who are older than Methuselah, and don't necessarily know how the internet and social media and all other stuff works, that at the end of the day, nothing gets done. So y'all want Mark Zuckerberg to apologize and do a whole song and dance for some kids being bullied on social media, and the kid taking a life because the parents should have a strict situation on their kids using social media and phones and all this other mess. So I'm glad in a way that I didn't grow up during a time where I had to depend on, like, in a time of social media. So, like, look, for instance, when I was a kid in school, I got into fights at 3 o'clock, and if I won a fight, I won the fight. But there was times I didn't win all the fights that I had, and I'm so glad that there was no phones back then, because it's like, okay, the fight happened, they talked about it the next day at school, and then after that we moved on. It was no big deal. So after that, you never had to really deal with it constantly happening, not only in school, but when you leave school, you're constantly being bombarded with harassment and bullying and all the other stuff. And this what this falls under. This falls under bullying and harassment. So at what point, what has to happen? Does someone have to be taken out Like, does someone have to be killed for y'all to wake up and all of a sudden want to take on this stuff, and for people to understand that this is not okay, that y'all cannot be out here bullying people, and that it's not okay what you're doing because you feel like you out here being a minion and doing Nicki's dirty work, that she's gonna what, give y'all free tickets to her upcoming Pink Friday 2 tour? Because quiet as it's, them tickets I saw was running under $10. So you can afford a ticket. It don't cost you, it ain't gonna cost you much from based off of the receipts I've been seeing that Robert sent me, that some of them tickets is real cheap because ain't nobody buying tickets to this tour. And it's because people are like sick of her and she's not arena, or I wouldn't even say stadium, but I'm like, stadiums are huge. Like Beyonce do stadiums, Pink does stadiums. Nicki is not at that she could have been at the stadiums where she could do stadiums, but I feel like her attitude and the way she rolls, she's not equipped. I don't think she's big enough to be able to, do a stadium tour. Now arenas are pretty big, but is those arenas selling out? And from what I see with the tickets, they not. But I don't want to talk too much about that because that's going to be me going into the next topic that I'm going to talk about that plays more into that. But at the end of the day, victims have to be able to have a way to clap back and defend themselves. I don't like that we're in a time now that bullies get to always win and the victims have to just put up with the BS. They have to tolerate being harassed and taken advantage of. And these bullies that go out here and dox them because you're saying something that they don't like, and they get to win at the end of the day. This shouldn't be tolerated. And we've heard so many other fan bases that do these things. Like you got the beehives and those other stuff, but they don't work at the level of the Barbz. They're on a whole nother level when it comes to bullying and harassment. So I don't understand that. And then how you have this girl who it wasn't that long ago that did she go on social media and say, "Oh, I don't want my fans be out here bullying and all this other stuff." But then under the same breath, you say this bullshit yesterday, that you don't want your fan base that you love the fact that your fan base is going after your ops. So which one is it? So like I said, the law needs to catch up with what's happening in real time, and I feel like the law is still slow to catch up. You're a little outdated. Y'all need to catch up seriously, because if it gets to a point that someone who's not afraid to speak out is their life is taken because some fan didn't like the fact that they called Nicki out on her support of essays, or her husband and all this other mess, or the fact that Bigfoot is a chop, that song was horrible. So we can't sit up here and constructively criticize a celebrity. Now I gotta worry about my life being in danger. Fuck out of here. I was like, first of all, I grew up in Brownsville, Brooklyn. I ain't scared of no bitch. So there's that. So before we get to this topic, the next topics, I do see a comment. People don't want to see a concert where there's no effort or thought behind it. That's why people aren't buying tickets. And first of all, people don't even know what to expect. Not that you should know the whole layout of the show and what people should expect. Like, is there going to be a lot of dancers? Is there going to be a lot of costume changes? Like, what's the set list? Like, I don't need to know all of that because it was like, look, I didn't know what the set list for the celebration tour was before, the first day when she performed the concert. And then we saw what the set list was and how the show was put together. So I don't, as a fan of someone, I don't need to know everything. I just need to know if, you know, your show is worth me buying a ticket. Because no shade, not a lot of these artists deserve my time and my coin. I'm not just gonna throw money at somebody just because, you know, they're going on tour. Like I need to know if you're gonna give me a show. It's like Janet Jackson going out on tour this year. Like, is she gonna give me the same shit she been giving me with this upcoming tour? She gonna give me the same choreography and the same costumes and the same four backup dancers and the same thing. And Janet's an icon and a legend. But girl, I need you. Like I said, if you're gonna be in this business for as long as you have, like there's a high expectation that comes with that title and you being like you're not just going to take advantage of the fact that you're an icon, a legend. So I'm just going to put up with whatever. So it don't work that way. But anyway, so speaking of tours, There is tea about how Nicki Minaj wants to add Katt Williams to her Pink Friday 2 tour. So the Pink Friday 2 rapper hopped on IG Live on Monday where she wondered if Katt Williams would want to tour with her. First of all, I will play y'all the clip, but no shade, but why have you been noticing she be sounding mad weird when she talk? Like, first of all, why she be talking mad whiny? Her voice is nasally, and it is like, girl, nobody really talks like that, especially from here that talk the way she talk. But I feel like Laganja when she was on that season of drag, oh, no, oh God, Miss Mom, like I feel like she's putting on an accent. But anyway, so she said, now I know this is the busiest man in show business. Okay. I know he's rich and I know that he's the funniest man in showbiz. Can y'all hit up Katt Williams and ask him what will be his price to be part of the Pink Friday 2 Gag City tour? Now, during the same IG Live session, Nicki gave her fans a glimpse into what her tour would be like. Saying a clip shows her joined by a group of dancers as the Pink Friday 2 album cut Pink Birthday plays in the background. Now, we do know that while you know what, Kat hasn't responded. We do know that Monica is going to be joining her on stage. I guess opening up the show. And the Pink Friday tour is supposed to start on March 1st in Oakland and will start her European leg in May. Now, I will say this, Katt Williams is currently on tour, and I think he'll be on tour up until May, maybe beyond that. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think the tour that he's currently on is the one he's with Monique and Tori Hart, who is Kevin Hart's ex-wife. So he has a whole tour with them going on right now. And I already told, hold on, because like I said, I'm still under the weather. And my nose is running, child. So the show is gonna be a mess. So yeah. So to me, this whole Katt Williams thing, I'm like, huh? What the hell has Katt Williams got to do with a tour? A music tour where you're supposed to be rapping? And yeah, someone of Nicki's caliber, she's gonna need backup dancers. She's gonna need props. She's gonna need pyrotechnics. She's gonna need things to hide behind to give you all a show. Because to me, Nicki is at the point of her career where she can't just get up on stage with just rapping by herself. Some people also pointed out that Little Kim worked with Katt Williams first back in the day. I don't know if it was in the tour form or was it he appeared on her Naked Truth album. I'm trying to remember exactly what it was, but they started the Little Kim Nicki comparisons. You can take with that, as you will. Take that information, do it as you will, as I should say. But to me, this doesn't sound like a perfect match. I'm like, what the hell does Katt Williams have to do with a Nicki Minaj tour? Like, I'm not getting out there in front of a bunch of damn Barbz and I'm going to tell jokes. Like, that doesn't even fit with the narrative of a Nicki Minaj tour. Like, if she want to have other rappers, which won't happen, because we know how she gets when it comes to female rappers. Unless you kiss her ass, she's not going to have you on her tour. If you want to have Monica and them struggle vocals, and you look, they was reading her down to the ground on social media because they talking about that BBL done fucked up her voice because her ass is looking a little crazy. Like she look like she got Madonna ass, the one that she walking around with, that botched booty. The same one Madonna running around. They must have went to the same damn surgeon. So they out here reading Monica down to the ground over them horrible ass vocals she been doing lately. Them struggle vocals. Her and Alicia Keys must be going through the same damn thing, except Alicia Keys I don't think she got any fake body parts run up in her body that's fucking up her voice. That just from her fucking another man that was married to somebody else. That's why her vocals are struggling. Which is why I had to laugh when Bob the drag queen was on social media trying to talk about this was a one-time thing. I know it wasn't. The Alicia Keys situation, that's been going on for years. Y'all just now paying attention because she was on a platform as big as the Super Bowl. But I've been saying for a long time that Alicia's voice ain't been the same since she ain't closed her legs to that married man, and that married man being Swiss Beats. However, let's get back to this story. This doesn't make sense. To me, it feels like Nicki Minaj is clout chasing because Katt Williams is on the tip of everybody's tongue right now. Katt Williams is one of the big comedy names, and she wants Katt Williams to be a part of that because she feels like it will bring attention to her Pink Friday 2 tour, which I stated before in the previous story we did about Nicki. Tickets ain't really doing what needs to be done. So it's not selling. So she had to get on Instagram and throw his name out there for attention. And also, for someone of her caliber, why do you have to go on social media and have your Barbz harass Catwood? Catwood got other shit going on. He ain't got time to be dealing with your fucking fans and they bullshit. Well, can you please open up for Nicki because she wants you on her show? And what's your price? Like how much you charge? Really? Like there's a such thing called the DM if you got a manager or whatever the case is, why hasn't your manager or the people that you employ and reached out and tried to get Cat Williams? Like, why you have to get on social media and ask your fans who you not even paying to do your dirty work? Is it because you don't want to? If you actually have to do the work and have these people that you employ do the work, you got to pay them. I mean, you got to pay them regardless. But why you got to get on social media and have your fans do the dirty work for you? My thing is, if you really wanted Cat Williams, you could have hit him up in his DMs and asked him what the case was. Or there's always people that you would know in the industry, unless like that story came out a couple of weeks ago. We was having a conversation about she don't really have that connection with people in the industry like she used to. But there's a lot of celebrities who don't have that connection that or know people that take the chance and they go into the DMs and they have the conversation and they hit them up and they take a chance and be like, well, it's me, so and so, whatever the case is. Um, you want to collaborate, work, whatever the case is. Sometimes it could be a spam situation. Sometimes it can be true team, but if you really know people, you can get them people to give you the information and hit Cat Williams up and ask him. But like I said, it don't make no kind of damn sense why you have a comedian come in and be a part of your tour when you're a music act. Having a comedian come out and tell jokes, it doesn't make sense. Now I can understand maybe she thought because maybe she saw Madonna's tour and you got a comedian. Um Bob the drag queen. I don't know how I forgot his name. I just mentioned him not too long ago. Bob the drag queen coming in, but she's found a way to incorporate him throughout the show. It's not necessarily, oh, he just gonna come out and do stand up, and then, are you ready? And then here's Monica, because then Monica might have to be the opening act. Like, how does that whole thing work? Like, it just don't. Like I said, it don't make sense. Like, it sounds stupid. This is clearly her trolling, and it just a dumb idea that I just think Cat continue to do what you do. The thing that why Cat is able to do what he does because he doesn't play in these mainstream spaces, which is why a lot of people respect him because he's willing to call out a lot of these A-listers and stuff on their stuff. So my Virgo twin, because he and I are both born on September 2nd, he may be older than me, way older, but we both September 2nd Virgos. So because he and I and Keanu Reeves and Salma Hayek, we all share a birthday. So don't do it. Keep doing what you do, which is telling your jokes in front of your specific audience. Like it's not going to work in front of the Nicki Minaj crowd because quiet as it's kept, I don't even think they even know who the fucking Cat Williams is, except unless they see the Club Shay Shay interview. So I'm thinking that's what that is. But anyway, so let's move on and child. Jenna hasn't changed her choreography. No. And I know y'all love, throwing it back and at the hits and feeling nostalgic and stuff. But like I said, when it comes to artists, I want reinvention. Like you have to show growth. And remember, I said not only is it about Janet doing the same thing over and over. Like if you're gonna do that, girl, like you don't even need to be touring. You need to just do a residency in Vegas. If you just want to be a novelty version of yourself, then do a Vegas residency. Don't even waste my time with a tour when you just gonna give me the same. Like I already know what to expect when I walk into the concert. It's like, yeah, it's great seeing that mainstream A-list artist on stage, but if you're gonna give me the same thing that I've been seeing you give me over the past 2 decades, then I don't want it. I'd rather just watch your shit on YouTube. It's the same how I feel about Jennifer Lopez and why I went hard on her in this new album. It's like, where's the growth? Where's the evolution? You sit up in here saying, oh well, I learned to love myself, and until I had my RuPaul moment and I love myself, um, then all of a sudden that's when Ben Affleck came into the picture and I finally found the love of my life. And if you gonna play that hokey crap up, and of course, the simps, male and female, y'all ate that up hook, line, and sinker. I side eye that whole bullshit. Like, okay, sis, like you out here feeding these kids this Disneyfied fantasy of love and really this fairy tale bullshit of a happily ever after type relationship. I'm not buying none of this foolishness you selling. But if y'all like it, I love it. Oh yeah, I did read that one. I was about to say, I was gonna read the previous one, but I already read that. But anyway, excuse me. So okay, so let's read about Portia Williams and her African Joanne the scammer. So Portia Williams, is coming back to the Real Housewives of Atlanta, which I'm starting to wonder. I'm like, so did the producer were y'all privy to some tea? And or is this like a lightning zeitgeist, lightning in a bottle type moment where y'all just lucked out, and it just so happens that around the time you gave this overall deal to Portia, where she's coming back to the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and she's got this overall deal with NBC Universal, that all this tea about her scamming ass husband came out. So, in a twist that sounds like it was ripped straight from the script of a primetime drama, Simon Guobadia, who known to many, as the husband of Real Housewives of Atlanta star Portia Williams, finds himself in a legal quagmire, spotlighting the complex narrative of immigration, identity, and the pursuit of the American dream. Recently, a federal court of Atlanta has turned down Guobadia's plea for U.S. citizenship, citing a history mirrored in criminality and deceit that reads more like a plot of a thriller than a citizenship application. Now, Simon Guobadia's journey to the United States, began in 1982, arriving as a child on a visitor's visa, which, quiet as a scam, a lot of people arrive on visitors' visas but don't leave. But that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day, and that's a whole nother conversation that the U.S. citizenship people need to be paying more attention to. But let's continue. However, this initial entry, rather than being the start of a straightforward immigrant tale, marked the beginning of a decades-long saga of fraud and false identities. By 1991, after overstaying his visa, Guobadia found himself on the wrong side of the law, ordered to be deported. The following year, in a move that would set the stage for later legal battles, he was physically removed from the United States. Yet, the narrative did not end there, demonstrating a resilience or perhaps recklessness that would defy his subsequent actions. Guobadia managed to re-enter the U.S., this time under a different identity. Though his new alias, he obtained a green card by fraudulent means, effectively becoming a permanent resident under the radar of immigration authorities. The layers for Simon Guobadia's past began to unravel further when it was revealed that his path to supposed legitimacy was paved with multiple felonies, including bank fraud, credit card fraud, and identity theft. These revelations came to light during his application for U.S. citizenship, an application that would be denied not once but twice. Initially in 2016, Guobadia's attempt at naturalization was rejected due to his permanent resident status being unlawfully granted. Undeterred, he filed another application in 2020 only to face denial once more for not being lawfully admitted for permanent residence. Now, in a final bid to overturn his series of rejections, Guobadia filed a complaint in 2023 asking the court to vacate the denial and grant him U.S. citizenship. However, this plea was dismissed in 2024, with the court pointing to his criminal past and illegal entry into the country as insurmountable barriers to his claim. Now, the decision of the federal court in Atlanta does not merely mark the end of a legal battle for Simon. It underscores the intricate and often unforgiving nature of immigration law. Guobadia's case is a stark reminder of the consequences of fraudulent action on the quest for citizenship, the quest that is, for many, fraught with challenges, but ideally pursued through lawful means. Now, this makes me wonder also what does this mean for Portia and her family? Because Portia and child, if we gonna have to be honest, we're gonna have to be honest, right? Didn't Portia get with Simon under false pretenses? Like he was with Fallon, who I believe he was married to at the time, and then Portia saw that man on that episode of Real Housewives and talked about we wasn't really friends, but we was friends enough for you to invite her on the show to do a scene with, and then all of a sudden you was at that man pool, all that ass in that bikini, and then he saw something, and all of a sudden y'all started this sordid affair. And now you ended up marrying him. And it's cute or whatever that you got your Prince Charming or whatever the case is. However, we're not gonna gloss over the fact that there is this stereotype that seriously always overshadows Nigerians, especially when it comes to Nigerians out here scamming. All kinds of identity bullshit that a lot of y'all be out here doing. So now it's like it's fucked up because y'all play into these very exact stereotypes that people get mad over. But I always say there's some truth and some stereotypes. And here we got Simon, and there's many others I heard that be down in Atlanta pull all kinds of stunts and shows and scams. But we're not gonna concentrate on all those. We just gonna concentrate on Simon and his story. And that thing is only important we mention this now because Portia is about to come back to the Real Housewives of Atlanta. So it makes perfect sense that, you know what, she out here coming back to Roa. I believe that they're going to probably cater this news reboot around Porsha because Porsha is younger. She's in her early 40s. So they're going to have girls within that age range that they could bring onto the show that will surround Porsha and all this other stuff, and maybe bring some people in that'll start spilling Simon tea, for context and ratings, and the ratings boost because, the shade. Bravo's not exempt from being shady when it comes to the way they be treating their talent. But the minute y'all sign y'all contracts in blood, you can't be surprised with the way these shady ass producers be using y'all. So it'll be interesting to see like how Porsha tries to get around this, but it makes sense why she would have to come back to the show and do these overall deals with NBC Universal, because this fairy tale that she had, where it's like her and Simon constantly going on trips, she's living this fabulous fairy tale life because, quiet as it's kept, her mother has always kind of pushed her to be this girl out here. Go find you a man with money, go find you a rich man and settle and be happy and be that housewife or whatever. When that's kind of like that southern shit that y'all like to do. Y'all like to play up this whole old school stereotype that the woman need to go find her this man with money, and regardless of what he do, whether he out here cheating or doing whatever, or scamming, whatever the case is, that y'all need to live this lavish life. But Porsha, you don't want to end up in a situation like Teresa and Joe Giudice. You don't want to end up when you sign the paperwork and then all of a sudden he end up in jail and you end up in jail, and then you get your little comeback because Teresa got to have her little comeback where they paused the damn franchise because she was pretty much, they made it out to be like she was this big A-list celebrity that the Real Housewives of New Jersey couldn't live without. So that's why Teresa got this big damn head when she think Jersey can't survive without her being a part of it. But that's Bravo's fault for that. So I say all this to say, hopefully y'all work out whatever the case it was, is that what does it mean regarding Guobadia's legal status? Is he deported? Like, is he out of the country, or has he found a way to slide and sneak back in? So now, apparently, according to, I guess we'll just go and say that, look, Portia's running around without her man right now. She don't have no kids with him, which is good. So if she need to make a escape and divorce, the girl do it now. And then, basically uses the opportunity to come out like a phoenix rising from the ashes, finding your own identity as a woman without having to depend on a man to take care of you. Excuse me. Financially and all this other stuff, and you out here doing what needs to be done, because now it makes sense why you come back to reality TV. I even said I want to see Porsha do season 3 of The Traitors, because I think she would definitely, I don't know if she's as resilient and as smart as Phaedra has been on this season, but I definitely would love to see Porsha play in that space of The Traitors. I would definitely want to see on that show. But anyway, so yeah, so I'll definitely be keeping an eye on this story as it develops. But child, this shit is a mess. Okay, so let's move on. I'm like, damn, we got a really long show today. I got like about 5 more topics, 6 more topics to go. So let's race through these real quick. All right, so Lionel Richie, did a story. Well, he not a story. He appeared on Jimmy Kimmel. And there's this documentary that is out that's called The Greatest Night in Pop. Where's that on? Is that on Netflix or whatever? Because I don't even know. I haven't seen it. But anyway, they're breaking down like the behind the scenes on the star-studded charity hit We Are the World. This is why I get irritated when you get a lot of these new generation bitches that want to sit and call things woke, and y'all put political stuff and everything. I'm like, art has always been political. I don't know where the fuck y'all been. Maybe y'all been asleep. And y'all just now waking up now because it's social media, and this is the time where a lot of y'all Trumpers or whatever just want to jump on social media and just say some dumb shit for attention. But the real gag is art has always been political. Like, We Are the World was started to end world hunger in Africa. That's basically why that whole charity was started. And you had all these big name celebrities at the time who jumped on that song. A lot of history is y'all friend. I know you got dumb Santis and the rest of these other idiots that's trying to erase history, but for the most part, history exists for a reason. So, and then we had Live Aid, which I believe was for the fight against AIDS and all this stuff, which I believe that was what Madonna jumped on. She did a thing for Live Aid. But anyway, so despite all the revelations and insight provided by the documentary The Greatest Night in Pop about the making of We Are the World, there are still plenty of questions that remain. So Lionel Richie stopped by Jimmy Kimmel this week to address some of it head on, beginning with the most pressing question of all. Why was Dan Aykroyd there? I think it's because Dan Aykroyd was a huge star at the time. That was, I believe, around the time of Ghostbusters and SNL and all other stuff. So, but he said it was because they needed a vibe. I don't know why you would need a vibe about a song with a comedian, but okay. And then he said maybe Aykroyd's presence would have made more sense if accompanied by Eddie Murphy, who Richie, excuse me, confirmed was also invited but didn't show. But he did that party all the time, so shit. And speaking of who got invited, Kimmel also asked Richie about a dilemma in the documentary on whether to include Madonna or Cyndi Lauper, the latter of whom got the spot and why it had to be on the radar. I mean, one or the other. Sorry. So they said because we had only half a line to sing, a half a line, and that was Cyndi, where, that dumb shit. You don't need Madonna singing that. Let her crazy ass do it. So, and she says, so we had to have voices of people that people knew right away. You have to have an identifiable voice. And for whatever reason, it was just Cyndi had that, referencing her famous gritty riff of the song. But Kimmel wasn't satisfied. And when told that not having both of them feature was a mistake, Richie conceded, I'm going to say this now on national and international television. You're right. Absolutely. And here's the thing. First of all, I thought it was full of shit. The real tea is the fact that at the time when Madonna and Cyndi Lauper were out, and I think a lot of people don't understand this, and I was way too young to understand that whole dynamic, but I am a child of the 80s and 90s and that sort of thing, so I can speak on it. Now I was like a little infant when this whole situation happened. So um, Cyndi Lauper and Madonna were basically the 80s equivalent of what the feud was between Britney and Christina. So, when you had in the 2000s and late 90s and 2000s, you had Britney and Christina, how they was always kind of put head to head as who was the more talented and this, that, and the other. And people looked at Christina was the more talented one, and Britney was the one who was limited in her talent skills. So people really didn't check for Britney in that way. But I think because Britney was more relatable is why a lot of people gravitated towards Britney more so than Christina. Christina had a reputation for being a bitch and a whole lot of stuff. And yeah, girl, you talented, you could sing your ass down to the ground. You could sing circles around a lot of your contemporaries. However, that attitude was a whole other story. Now, regardless of Cyndi and Madonna, Madonna was the one who was kind of pegged as the one-hit wonder that a lot of people wasn't really featuring at the time. Y'all thought she was going to be some flash in the pan because she was more about the image and really getting a lot of the young girls riled up and interested because she was setting the trends. But they expected Cyndi to do it because Cyndi was out here with the pink and all this multicolor looking like Rainbow Bright. And she had the wacky songs. And I liked both girls when I was a kid. I loved Cyndi Lauper, and I loved, Madonna. I love Madonna more, but Cyndi Lauper was that girl that I listened to as well. I don't know, it was a competition if you had to choose one or the other. But people, and you know what, Cyndi is famous in her own right, and she's still been able to carve out a stagnant career. Like her career is still doing what needs to be done. Yeah, she's not a billionaire like Madonna, and she's not as influential and still got the pulse on pop culture and really getting people talking about her the way Madonna does. But Cyndi Lauper, we're not gonna just dismiss her like she's, not if she's not out here still doing her own thing. So I do feel like they could have had both women on there, but maybe they had their reasons as to why they didn't have her on there. But I'm not buying the whole thing about, oh, well, we only had there was like half a little note, and we basically chose Cyndi over Madonna. I really feel like they thought Cyndi was going to be that big A-list star. Cyndi was going to be that girl. Madonna's a flash in the pan, and they wanted the song to be memorable. So they just went with Cyndi over Madonna. But Madonna has proved to y'all time and time again she is that girl, and she is influential, and she is basically the blueprint of teaching a lot of y'all faves from Katy Perry, who just announced, and I'm against the Katy Perry in this whole situation in a minute because there's a reason for that. The Katy Perrys, the Lady Gagas, the Madonna, the Beyoncés, the Christinas, the Britneys, so many of the other girls that have looked up to the Ariana Grandes, all of them have looked up to Madonna and have used her influence and her blueprint as a way of how they market themselves, how they use sex and a lot in their work, and the way that they put together their shows and tours, because Madonna was the one that pretty much changed the game in regards of how you put on a 3-act play in a concert. You have a theme, a beginning, a middle, and an end, and you have a story. Whether or not the stories work with a lot of y'all fames is to be determined, but Madonna always has a theme and a story that she tells when it comes to her tours. So now he also talked about, Jimmy said that Madonna should be the replacement for Katy Perry. And he actually said, if you're listening, call me. We got a call. And, while it's cute or whatever that he says that, first of all, Madonna ain't doing no damn American Idol. Madonna is not somebody. We can barely get her ass on RuPaul's Drag Race. So if you can't even get her to do an episode of RuPaul's Drag Race, what makes you think she's gonna sit up in there for months on end while y'all up here? Like, she's not gonna sit her ass in no chair for hours while y'all have a bunch of singers coming in, and she gotta, sit through all of that, all them singers, good or bad or indifferent, when it comes to, what is required to sit there and do an American Idol. So I don't see her doing that. Like, I'm still rooting for her to do please get her on a season of RuPaul's Drag Race, because Madonna is such an icon with the gays. That would be so perfect. I know y'all probably gonna have to back up the whole Brinks truck to the point where y'all probably not gonna afford no more celebrities to be able to be a guest judge. In that case, it might be fine, because I feel like RuPaul's Drag Race don't need all these A-list celebrities to be sitting up in there on that panel. I loved when they had Melissa McCarthy on there recently. That was cute. Like, I bought what Melissa McCarthy was saying in regards to, the gays and the influence. I love that. Like, I feel like this season they've had a really good amount of judges that I truly believe love drag and love the gays and really support. Like, Sarah Michelle Gellar was a good judge. Loved her episode. Laura Roche, excellent as a judge. I know y'all was real dismissive of Becky G, but I like Becky G, so we're not gonna shade Becky G. I love me some Becky G. So she was cute or whatever. Charlize Theron, I truly believe, because I believe Charlize has like a member of the LGBTQ community as one of her kids. I think one of her kids is trans, if I'm not mistaken. But so Charlize, I bought hook, line, and sinker. And then who's the reason? Oh, like I said, Melissa McCarthy throwing the cheese and talking about that. The drag community influenced her with her art and her music, and also, her performing and all that other stuff. In her early days of her career, before I knew her as Sookie from Gilmore Girls. Like, everybody know her from Mike and Molly and all the other shows she did, but I always knew her when she was Sookie on Gilmore Girls. Like, that's when I first became aware of Melissa McCarthy. But nevertheless, I say all this to say, I'm not buying what they were saying. I truly believe that, the whole thing about her and Cindy, I said what I said earlier in the thing. I don't see Madonna replacing Katy Perry in American Idol, but there's one person who threw their hat in the ring in regards to who they want to jump in and be a replacement for Katy Perry, and that's Jordan Sparks. She came out recently and said that she wouldn't mind doing the show. And I feel like at this point, what needs to happen, I do feel like as a female replacement, because one of my friends said, what about Adam Lambert? I said, first of all, they're not going to do 3 males on American Idol. The whole dynamic has always been 2 guys and a girl in a pizza place. That just popped in my head. Shout out to that Ryan Reynolds sitcom from back in the day. But they're only going to do 2 guys and a girl. That always has to be the situation. So I don't see him coming. I don't see them bringing in Adam Lambert. And now if Luke Bryant or Lionel leaves and y'all want to bring in Adam Lambert, that would be perfect. Because I would love to see Adam Lambert host. Hasn't he judged one of those shows before? Like, didn't he do The Voice? I think in Australia, one of those places. So I would definitely love that we could get some queer representation on there, but it has to be a girl. And I feel like if you're going to bring a girl on, I did hear rumors about Lady Gaga. I don't know if that's necessarily true, but I did hear rumors floating around that Lady Gaga, they're looking at her. At this point in her career, Lady Gaga hosting a show like American Idol, I wouldn't put it past her for doing it, because her career as a pop star is not necessarily at the level that a lot of people was expecting. Like, I do feel like her career ebbs and flows when it comes with the music. So to get her back in the good graces of middle America, whatever the case is, I could definitely see her trying to do that as a career boost, because Gaga's been focusing more on her acting career than it has been her music. Now, I do know she has been in the studio working on the music, but this would be a good way for her to get back in the good graces of getting into the heart of America. Middle America is the ones who still support American Idol. So I could definitely see Gaga up there with the over the top fashions and do other stuff. Or maybe we could get a Kylie Minogue. Like she really trying to get her career. If someone like Kylie Minogue is trying to really get herself into the music business in regards of American market, that would be a good look for her. I would love to see her do that. But if you can't get like these big names, like on like a Kelly, like what Katy Perry was, and you can't get those big names or whatever with Jennifer Lopez like they did back in the day, or Paul Abdul, then maybe they need to go with a former American Idol alum who was on the show that has a personality that'll be able to do it. Like I don't know about Kelly Pickler, but maybe what was her name? Um Oh my God, she actually was she one of the big Carrie Underwood. Like if you get a Carrie Underwood or a Jordan Sparks or whatever, maybe that would be cute and that would work. But it's all about the chemistry. So let's get to the comments. Sidebar: I know y'all might shade me or go a little sideways about who I think should be like because y'all. I'm sure y'all heard about Nigel Lithgow being removed because of the sexual assault allegations against Paul Abdul and a bunch of other people. So he's not going to be on So You Think You Can Dance. But So You Think You Can Dance is actually coming back in 2 weeks. And I was like, who might be a good judge for that show? And I just started watching All Stars 2 yesterday because I told you I rewatched Drag Race. I was like, who'll be good? Don't throw tomatoes at me. But I was like, Todrick Hall might be a good person to, just to give him a job or something to pay off the bills and things. Like he might be good for doing a show like So You Think You Can Dance because he's a dancer and he's a singer and stuff. So that'd be cute if maybe he if he would do something like that. But I'm out of my business. Whoever y'all choose to be that replacement, I'm gonna let y'all do what needs to be done with that. So Felix said they didn't think Madonna's career would last. They didn't take her seriously and thought her career would be over after the Like a Virgin album when they asked her to join in Live Aid. And she did Live Aid instead of, because y'all rejected her from We Are the World. Michael hated Madonna. Let's be honest. We're going to be honest. Let's be real. And the hatred trickled down to Janet Jackson, Diana Ross. Well, child, Michael ain't here. And just like one of the stories I had to cut was that story about Wade Robson and James Safechuck joining forces to go after Michael Jackson for the assault allegations. But I'm going to say that for another day because it was too many there was too many topics. And it's funny because we've already gone past 2. Normally I'd be done by 2 hours. But like I said, I've been off the radar for the past, what is it? Like almost a week. So I gotta feed y'all. I gotta feed the beast in the words of Kim Petras. It said they performed the song at Live Aid and asked Madonna to join, but she left after performing with the Thompson twins. Okay, so Joni Mitchell blamed Madonna for changing females for the worse by being Playboy burlesque acts, and girls are sexual these days. Joni says, well, look, Joni, shout out to her doing for what she. I know she's been ill, and it was cute to see her at the Grammys sitting in that chair playing that guitar. But not every artist is equipped to want to just sit still or stand still for 2 hours and play a guitar. There's plenty of girls that did that during that era, and that's like we had the whole Lollapalooza, and didn't they have an all female type of damn, what was it? A festival. I think it was started by Sarah McLachlan back in the day. So there was always girls out here that was doing stuff. You had Lisa Loeb, who I told you I did a Priceline.com commercial with back in the day. So you had your Lisa Loebs, you had your Liz Phair. I'm taking y'all back, yeah. You had your Liz Phair, you had your Tori Amos, you had your Sarah McLachlan, you had even though she was the female fronting a band, you had Garbage, because that's my Virgo sister, Shirley Manson. So and then you had Peaches, who I absolutely love, who brings in electronic music with punk and all the other and rock and roll and all that stuff. So you had your females that were doing that sort of thing. And I don't feel like people like Joni Mitchell, who are like poets and people who play instruments and stuff and are more or less rock and roll or folk or whatever, should come down on artists because they're a burlesque act. It's like Madonna does more than just take her clothes off on stage. Yeah, she brings the provocative stuff, but she's up there playing a guitar, she's singing, she's dancing, and all this stuff. Even though it's limited now because she's a woman of a certain age, and rightfully so. I feel like if I'm 65, I'm not going to be up there doing. I'm not giving you full on um a full-on, a all-out choreography. Like, I'm not breaking my back. Shit. That's what I pay these 20-year-olds to do. I'll sing around them. I'm gonna do like Sophie Ellens Bextor with that Murder on the Dance Floor. If y'all been watching that live performance, she stand there and just sing the song and let them dancers do the work. That would be me. So, speaking of which, she's going on tour. I know y'all probably saw that article that I did where she's doing a North American tour because she sold out New York, Webster Hall, the same day. So now she's doing a little U.S. tour. Shout out to the Brits. The Brits is finally coming over and claiming shit and making their coin. I was like, look. Shout out to Kylie Minogue because Kylie Minogue started doing that, and now we see all the girls coming over. So we got Kylie Minogue, we got Sophie, we got Aqua, we got S Club 7, all the UK and all the overseas European artists are coming over to America and doing their little shows, and that's great. You come over and humble yourself and do a small little venue and make your little coin. But I'm not gonna, child. I'd be like, I'm too old to be out here trying to spend 2 years of my life in big ass the US of A trying to convince a lot of these TikTokers to like my music because my song went viral because Barry Keoghan was running around butt ass naked in the movie. And it's funny that she performed it at the BAFTA Awards, and the fans were like, people was on social media mad because they panned to Barry, who was in the audience. I'm like, well, why he not on stage dancing butt naked? First of all, that's real intimate, and that probably takes a lot to do in a movie. Because I'm sure it wasn't a lot of people on set when he did that. But no, first of all, if y'all want them to get fined for having nudity on stage. So if you want to see Barry Keoghan booty and penis and stuff, watch the movie. Like, he's not going to sit up here and risk the players getting fined because he's not dancing button because y'all want to be perverts. They said Jordan would be good. Well, that'd be probably good one too. Oh, you saying Alyssa Edwards would be good? Oh yeah. So Felix said Alyssa Edwards would be good for some. Child, I had an idea for a show. I still do about drag queens and like a dance type of thing. I don't want to spill all my tea online, but I'm gonna say it. And Alyssa Edwards is actually one of my choices to be like a judge. Me hosting. I got an idea for judge drag queens and dancing. I'm not gonna say the whole thing, but yeah, I did have an idea, and she was actually one of my choices. Now that you bring that up, but anyway, so I think Madonna wrote "Love Makes the World Go Round" after "We Are the World" snub, since she performed it at Live Aid. Oh yeah, so it was Lilith Fair. That's what it was. Because I was like, yeah, Lilith. That reminds me of like the demon girl or what? Gwen Stefani and No Doubt. Sorry you couldn't get tickets to Webster Hall. I'm like, that's fine. But here's the thing with Sophie, while I know a couple of her songs, I'm not a big enough fan that I would want to go and see her at Webster Hall. Maybe I could have just went just to say that I went, but I'm at a point in my life where I'm real particular about who I give my money to when it comes to concerts and things. But yeah, that's what I said. A lot of people tend to think that American artists just because they don't do Beyonce or Taylor Swift numbers, that there's no audience for them in a lot of spaces. And to me, it's like she has a fan base in America. Like, there's a lot of art Americans that listen to a lot of these artists that a lot of y'all just be acting like y'all ain't never heard of, but some of y'all faves be stealing from and thinking that they ain't gonna be called out about. So that's a whole nother conversation for another day. So let's continue because we got um about 4 or 5 more topics left. So this episode might be 2.5 hours. Okay, so Usher revealed recently in an interview that he got into a bidding war with Justin Timberlake over Justin Bieber. Now, in this week's People Cover story, the musician who's 45 opened up about how he and Timberlake, who's 43, got into what he described as a bidding war to sign then unknown Bieber, who's 29, to his and Scooter Braun's joint record label, Raymond Braun Media Group, in 2008, saying, "When you are at the top of your game, some of the greatest things will be presented to you." And it was, I think, right after my album Confessions, and I was introduced to Justin Bieber and Scooter Braun, detailing that he and Braun, who's 42, previously worked together back when the star was a local promoter and worked under Jermaine Dupri. The recent Super Bowl halftime show performer continues, "I presented Scooter an offer that I felt that he couldn't resist. saying we built a friendship, but this would obviously create a partnership that would span us forever. And it was a bit of a bidding war between me and Justin Timberlake. I was like, I'm not certain that I understand each and every producer that this artist could benefit from. But what I can tell you is I'm going to give you my passion and I'm going to give you every bit of what I have to offer. Now, Usher says another reason he was so keen to sign Bieber along with Braun is because there can only be one Justin. So if you want to go with Justin, that's Justin and Justin. Me, it's only one Justin. So that's obviously created a relationship. And there was that support of him as an entrepreneur because I think that's what he was trying to find. He was trying to find himself as well. Say, I guess that Scooter was trying to find himself. Now, highlighting, however, that he didn't know Braun saw himself as a full service manager at the moment, Usher eventually persuaded him, telling Braun, I think that you can do this. He says, I believe in you, and if we can have a partnership, I'll give you every bit of wisdom that I have and grow you and support you in whatever you're trying to accomplish as a businessman. You're a manager. You're not just a guy who can discover artists. You are someone who just needs someone to believe in, and I believe it, and I'll support you. So um he also told people about his own career and that of Justin, because there's been a lot of times over the years that they do compare Usher to Timberlake, just like y'all be trying to compare Taylor Swift to Beyonce, and I just got to eye roll myself with that because here y'all go trying to microaggress. That's like a microaggression. Y'all just be out here trying to compare black folks to white people. Y'all want to play when these white people want to play in our black spaces when it comes to the music. But anyway, so he says, we are all unique artists that have our creativity. I love the producers that he works with, which is basically Timberlake and Pharrell, so much so that I work with them. And I think he loves the producers that I work with so much so that he's worked with them. I've always wanted to do a record with Justin, and I have reached out many times, but we've never managed to make it happen. Still, Usher is aware of comparisons made by the artists, though he notes I'm in competition with no one other than myself. Because um, one of the things I've always learned about Usher is that he always comes across as someone who is trying to top himself and grow as an artist and as an entertainer and see how he can go out, do himself with the last work he did. I don't necessarily feel like he accomplished that with Coming Home because I was thoroughly disappointed in that record, but you get an A for effort. I do love the fact that he dabbled in Afro beats and he's trying different things, but I just felt like that this album didn't show his growth as an artist. So I particularly didn't care for it. But as far as like him and Justin Bieber, I'm actually glad that Justin Bieber went with Usher rather than Justin Timberlake. Because here's the thing: if Justin Bieber would have went with Justin Timberlake, people would have obviously compared them and been like, "Oh, he's just basically a knockoff Justin Timberlake." Which, if I'm not mistaken, I never got that from Justin Bieber when he was coming up in the industry. I never got from him working with Usher that he was a Justin Timberlake knockoff. Which, if you look at Justin Timberlake, he's a Michael Jackson knockoff. But excuse me. But nevertheless, I do feel like Justin has been able to carve out his own identity under the guidance of Usher. So it was smart for him to go in that direction and work with him and work with the Usher to introduce Justin Bieber to the producers and the songwriters and all the people that he could help this kid work with, so that way he can carve out his own identity and pander to a certain demographic that would eat up the fact that this little Canadian white boy with that hair that he kept, like he had Tourette's and shit every 5 minutes trying to move the hair out of his way doing that. Um, when he was doing it at the beginning of his career stuff. And, Justin can't perform like he used to because he's got his ailments, what is it, the Randy Hunt, somebody Hunt syndrome. And then he's got the anxiety and all this stuff. So he can't perform like he used to because he got his sickness and all this other stuff. But he has made a mark in the industry, and controversies notwithstanding, one less lonely N-word, remember that song, and all that other mess. Um, Justin's impact in pop music can't be denied. So, in a way, I'm glad that Justin Timberlake didn't get his hands on Justin Bieber because I don't feel. Would Justin Timberlake be able to like evolve and develop Justin Bieber in any way? Like I feel like he probably would have just took Justin Bieber and shoved that little boy because a lot of these artists y'all get in y'all way where y'all want to play entrepreneur, but you're not really out here trying to help artists grow and evolve. So he would have shelved him and that boy would have went nowhere. So the good thing with with Usher is the fact that he was like, you know what? Not only am I going to help Justin Bieber, but I'm also going to help you, Scooter, controversies notwithstanding, be a manager. And manage this kid and show you the ropes on all the things that I've learned. Because like I told y'all, there's no rule book in how this industry works and stuff. But you're lucky if you come across someone who is willing to teach you all the things that they learned. Excuse me. Or move that and evolve that and all that other stuff. So shout out to you. Shout out to shout out to Usher. Shout out to Justin Bieber. And like I said, I'm glad he didn't choose Justin Timberlake. And he also talked about, because one of the things I got sick and tired of, and which is why I didn't really talk about it that much, but that Usher also talked about Bieber not joining him on stage for the Super Bowl halftime. Because at first it was who was it? It was a source had spoken out. Then Little John, I believe, came out and spoke out about it. And then now I was like, okay, at this point, I'm tired of everybody speaking for Justin Bieber. So now, he said that he just wanted to tell a different story, and he understood that. So he said they had a brief conversation. We're going to do something else in the future, and there's no love lost. And so the word is that there was a lot of pressure for Justin Bieber to get up there and perform because like he said, he has issues with anxiety and stuff, and he wasn't at the point mentally that he wanted to get up in front of all those people and then millions at home watching just to give y'all 3 seconds of a performance. Y'all could read Alicia Keys down to the ground with them struggle vocals, and then everybody else got up there for their little 10-second moment. But Justin was like, you know what, I'm not feeling it. I'm gonna just sit in this box and I'm gonna watch this damn football game from where I'm at. And I ain't mad at him over that. All right, so we got comments. They shaded me for like a European pop star is gonna appreciate. Well, here's the thing. I've always been someone who was more or less into, and I've said this on my website. I mean, not my website. I've said this on Facebook the other day. It's like I've always liked UK pop or European pop music or dance music more so than American music. Like Americans, y'all had your moment and whatever, but I love the aspect of how loyal the Europeans are when it comes to an appreciation they have for music. So I've always been a fan of like UK pop girls, UK pop girl groups, which I feel like they do groups better than American groups. Yeah, we have our American groups, but a lot of y'all get so shrouded in drama and bullshit, and y'all can't even get past like 2 albums before y'all break up. So the one I feel like off the top of my head that's been able to at least give us more than 2 albums was Destiny's Child. But for the most part, a lot of these girl groups out in America, y'all don't last for 5 minutes. But the UK groups, like I Love My Girls Aloud, I only like one album from All Saints. Who else? We have Sugar Babes. We have Little Mix. Like there's been so many there were so many great girl groups that I absolutely love that come out of the UK. So there's that. So I like a lot of artists most people don't know about. I've always been that way. Like I was listening to Bjork before anybody knew who the fuck a Bjork was. And that was because I was always on MTV2 instead of MTV, watching the music videos over there. So you said Debbie Gibson and Avril Lavigne. Well, you talking about Lyme disease, but I don't think it's Lyme disease that he necessarily have. I believe it's Ramsey Hunt because I talked about it on the show, and it's also he said he had issues with anxiety, which has been his issue with him getting on stage and performing, why he's been canceling in the middle of his tours, which is why I would never trust to buy a Justin Bieber ticket because it's like I'm not going to buy a ticket and keep my fingers crossed the whole damn time and be stressed out and hope and pray that you're not going to cancel your damn tour. So we're not doing that. The last decade of pop ruled was the 80s. Really? Because I always thought like the last time we really had like good pop music was up to like the 2000s. I feel like there was some good eras in that time, like the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s. I feel like those were good eras. The 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and the 2000s. I don't feel like the 2010s. I mean, the 2010s kind of, sort of, I guess, because the 2010s had like that EDM and that sort of thing. So we had like the Keshas and the Lady Gagas, but that was like 2008, like around that time, that transition. We had the Katy Perrys, the Gagas, the Nicki Minaj, where people started liking her more for her EDM stuff than her regular music. And she started getting mad over that because she's like, oh, I'm not singing that song. I was like, okay, sis, then no. But okay, so let me see. So in the US, Spice Girls tried it, but I definitely feel like they were overworked, especially with the worldwide fame. Notice if it was just the UK, they lasted longer. And I think it was because also it's like the UK is not that big, so you don't have to work as much. Like you could do a couple of dates and you good, and you can have a successful career. Like Kylie Minogue's always had. Like she's focused on the UK, but she's also done concerts around the world as well. She could do France, she could do Brazil, she could do, the Australia. She could do a lot of those places, possibly Latin America. I don't know where her how strong her fan base is in Latin America. I know Madonna has a strong fan base in Latin America, but I don't know what Kylie's influence is there. But you could do a couple of those places, you good financially. But the US, it is a lot to basically come here and focus a lot of that time. Because I remember I was watching a documentary and Rammstein was talking about how they had to spend damn near 2 years here to break in and have their music because Du Hast and all other stuff was popular here. I think it was because of the Matrix and all other stuff, or maybe that was before the Matrix. But okay, the Matrix came out like what in the 90s? Was it not? Yeah, I think it was in that. But anyway, so they were talking about how it was just stressful for them because it was like they're doing that, and then people, American like depending on the state because of their shows. And if you see their live shows, girl, they be going in. Like they be up on stage with like prosthetic penises, and then the lead singer be beating it, and then all of a sudden he holds the audience during Buck Dish, and the penis be going off and wetting the audience. I'm like, oh, that's iconic. Like I live for shit like that. Anything controversial, they be up there. Was it like simulating anal sex and doing all kinds of other stuff in their shows. And the Bible Belt, when you go to those areas, they had problems when they got arrested. So I can understand the overall stress of wanting to spend, like, who got time to be spending 2 years in America to be touring? This is why Kylie Minogue is back in the studio recording the follow-up Attention, because she hasn't really toured that album yet. She hasn't even toured Disco because she was, because of the pandemic. Now it's Tension. She really get to tour that because she's been promoting Padam Padam every damn where for like 6 months, and then the album came out, and then she's been spending more time here in the United States than she has in her own, in Australia and the UK doing stuff for them. So. And then, she had the residency and stuff out here. So I could see why it's like, okay, now I got to get back in the studio recording more music. Hopefully it's going to be in the vein of like dance or whatever, but we'll see what comes out of that. Now that the TikTok is losing the music, can we go back to format? That's what I said. Can we go back to long songs? Because I'm irritated with songs that's like we got songs that's like a minute and a half now. I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? So I'm getting irritated. So I feel like at this point we definitely need songs that are a bit longer, that I shouldn't have to listen to it 50 times in order to feel like I'm satisfied with this song. Because Kim Petras has a new song on her on that Vogue ass album that she came out with. Was it Slut Pop Miami? But the song is like a minute and a half. I'm like, bitch, this is actually a good song. Why is it so short? But anyway, Latin America is extremely pissed that the celebration tour is ending in Mexico City. Watch Spice Girls in America. You see how exhausted they are and how the media was against them to get Jerry out. Oh, due to Jerry out. It is ending in Mexico. She's not doing Latin America. She's not doing. Oh wait, I think I heard she did Spain, but a friend of mine who lives in Spain said that there's this ongoing thing that's been going on in Spain where a lot of these scalpers are hijacking the tickets and the prices, and it's hard to get like tickets and stuff to concerts and stuff. So he was telling me about that. I'm actually looking forward to Charlie's new music too. That she's releasing a new song, Von Dutch, next week. I'm definitely looking forward to hearing this new album because I've been watching the interviews. I mean, not watching. I've been reading the interviews and stuff she has, and I think she worked with Robin on her new album. So I'm curious to also hear what what they cooked up in the studio because I like Charlie. I really feel like she's the one who has pretty much become the Madonna of um oh my God, what is the genre that she was doing? Hyperpop. So I kind of feel like she's taken that whole sound and she has ushered it into the mainstream of sorts. But I will admit, I did not like that last album, Crash, because it was a little too mainstream. But I like Charlie going more punk and then her stay away from the whole that whole mainstream thing because that's not her. And she basically admitted that that's not her. So I'm actually looking forward to hearing what she's coming up and doing because now she's not independent. She's on her boyfriend's label. But I mean, well, she's on a label, but she's not on a mainstream label, I should say. But I think she's on the same label as Rina Sawayama, who she had a falling out with because apparently Rina was talking about that Charlie's boyfriend owns her masters. And I like Rina Sawayama. If you have not seen her in I was gonna say The Matrix. If you have not seen her in John Wick 4, definitely check her out in that. She definitely her part in that film, she definitely is good at doing like martial arts and fight sequences and stuff. She was good in that small role that she had. But definitely check her out in that if you like Rina Sawayama. But anyway, so it's like there were a few songs in the Barbie soundtrack. Like, yeah, I was Child Quiet as It's Kept. I was listening to that album one time and I moved on. The Gays Up Here, she dissed Crash, her mainstream sellout pop album. Well, look, Quiet as It's Kept. That's like one of my least favorite albums I mean, that's one of my least Charlie XCX albums that I listen to. I've listened to Pop 2 and her other stuff more so than I listen to Crash. There's some songs on there that I like, but overall, as a complete full, like me listening to the album from beginning to end, I don't listen to that record. But anyway, so let's move on because we have how many more topics we got? I said I'll be done by 2:30. That's a damn lie. Or 2.5 hours. But apparently Maury said that's a lie. We have 4 more topics, but we're gonna get through it. So apparently today is gonna be a 3-hour show. But y'all get a lot of goodies. So according to reports, Justin Timberlake apparently cheated on Cameron Diaz with a Playboy bunny during the early stages. Wait, did I change the I didn't. Hold on. Let me go back. I didn't put the thing at the bottom, the lower third. So let's do that again. Take 2 in action. So Justin Timberlake apparently cheated on Cameron Diaz with a Playboy bunny during the early stage. I should say allegedly during the early stages of the couple's relationship, according to the model. Now Zoe Gregory, and this is from page 6, by the way. Zoe Gregory, who is now 49. Oh, you like I'm older. Okay, so told the Daily Mail on Sunday that she met Timberlake, who's now 43, at a party at the Playboy Mansion, and she was first to make a move on him. Now, Gregory claimed the Rock Your Body singer initially declined, stating that he was dating Diaz, but when she further enticed him by saying the Charlie's Angels star was not with him now, he allegedly gave in, saying he didn't want to look like a wimp. This is what she told the outlet. We both got in the grotto and we both got our kit off down to the shorts and we ended up fooling around. Is she English or Australian, whatever? Because get your kit off. That is such a European term. But anyway, so the porn star clarified that is she a porn star? But look, the page 6 saying it's a porn star. I guess we'll go along with it. But anyway, the porn star clarified she and Timberlake did not have sex, but they allegedly fondled and made out. Now, page 6 has reached out to his reps for the comment, but did not immediately hear back. Diaz's reps also did not respond. Now, Gregory previously exposed another taken man with whom she allegedly had a tryst, Alex Rodriguez. Now, in 2019, she claimed A-Rod had sexed her just weeks before he proposed to Jennifer Lopez, saying, he was being like a dirty dog. He seemed like a needy, horny bloke. Gregory told the Sun at the time, if he is doing this right up until the point he is proposing to her, it's just not fair. Timberlake's dating record has not been squeaky clean either. Now, if you remember, Britney Spears recently accused the Crimea River singer of cheating on her multiple times throughout their 3-year relationship. The Princess of Pop, who's 42, claimed that her best-selling memoir, The Woman in Me, released in October 2023, that Timberlake had been unfaithful to her with another celebrity. Now, the former NSYNC member was rumored to have cheated with Nicole Appleton, speaking of what I'm talking about, All Saints, of the English girl group All Saints after they were spotted heading back to his hotel in London in 2000 while he was still with Spears. It was also reported amid the pop icon's romance that the Oops I Did Again singer once flew into a jealous rage when she found Tanya Mitchell, an up-and-coming singer who had performed as one of NSYNC's opening acts, on her then-boyfriend's bed, according to an Achieved Star magazine article. Or not Achieved, it's archived. What the hell? Timberlake then broke up with Spears via text. Well, Lisa wasn't opposed to it when he found out that she cheated on him with choreographer Wade Robson. Despite his own, which I've been telling y'all that tea for years about Britney allegedly cheating on Justin Timberlake. Well, not alleged, because honey, the tea is the tea. I've been telling y'all this for years that Britney I keep saying alleged. I'm probably to protect myself. But yeah, I've been telling y'all for years, take 3, that Britney was hunching Wade Robinson while she was in a relationship with Justin. But it was probably because Justin was out here laying along with spreading the wild with all these other women. Because like we were saying for years, and how Brittany said in her book, Justin been trying to perpetuate this image that he wants to be this bad boy or whatever. And he's like, I don't care if y'all think that I'm a villain or whatever the case is, but Justin just comes across like a corny goofball at the end of the day. So despite his own heartbreak, the what goes around comes around singer has since been caught in more compromising situations. Now, just a few weeks after his split from Diaz, who's now 51, in 2007, Timberlake was seen chatting up Jessica Biel at a Golden Globes party, which reportedly infuriated the There's Something About Mary star. It's unclear whether there was any crossover between those two relationships, which probably explains why Jessica ain't that upset that Justin was allegedly out here cheating on her throughout their marriage, because there was tea that came out in 2010 that he was cheating on her with Olivia Munn. And also, let's not forget the actress that was played the mother on Raising Dion. Remember when I keep bringing that up every time when we talk about Justin and his cheatation allegations. That they saw the pictures of the actress had her hand on Justin's leg and she was caressing his thigh when they was out in New Orleans on that damn balcony. And they be having them infrared cameras. They be getting everything. And then he out here trying to act like he was so innocent in the situation. But it just goes to show that Justin is someone, regardless of the fact that, they got married in 2012 because the cheatation happened in 2010, and they got married in 2012 and they had kids. So 2 kids together. So they've been married, over a decade? Because 2012, 2024. So it's like, I don't know what month or what month they got married. But it's been over a decade, so we'll just say that. And it's funny because I'm telling y'all this tea, and then the article also says, so her name is Alicia Wainwright, while they were filming a movie in New Orleans. So they were showing like they were holding hands and she was caressing his thigh. And then basically he issued an apology writing on Instagram. He said, a few weeks ago, I displayed a strong lapse in judgment, but let me be clear, nothing happened between me and my co-star. He said, I drank way too much that night and regret my behavior. Excuse me. So it just goes to show that this is a pattern when it comes to Justin, that he is someone who apparently you can flick, you just thrust your pussy in his direction and he gonna climb up in it. And that's perfectly fine if that's what you want to do. But let your wife know, and y'all have an open relationship, whatever boundaries or whatever situation that is what it is. But at the end, but also, if you're gonna cheat, just be single. I don't understand why be in a relationship with somebody if you're not going to commit to that person. So to me, it just goes to show that Justin is someone who's a leopard that won't change his spots. I don't understand why this model, Zoe, feels the need to bring up an old relationship that Justin ain't been in for over a decade. Like, he ain't been with Cameron Diaz since the 2000s. And Cameron has moved on. She's with Benji Madden from Good Charlotte. She has a child with him. She's moved on. She was also on Drag Race. I think it was last season. But Cameron Diaz has moved on. She's doing her own thing. She's not worrying about Justin Timberlake. I don't understand why people want to open up old wounds and bring up something that ain't got nothing to do with her. She moved on. Justin's in a whole nother marriage situation, relationship with his wife, and got a bigger fish to fry, which is trying to hope and pray that these tickets will sell out on this upcoming tour, and that people give a damn about this upcoming album that he got coming out. Because with all this stuff with him and Britney and all this other mess, I don't know if people is really featuring a Justin Timberlake album like he thinks they are, but we'll find out when that album comes out. Don't it come out in March? So we'll find out then. But like I said, while this is good, juicy grist for the mill, I don't understand the point of bringing this up in conversation. Like, I just feel like it's a much ado about nothing. Like, okay, it's cute or whatever that he possibly cheated, and I wouldn't be surprised if he cheated, because the track record speaks for itself of all the tea that's coming out. But I don't know, maybe it's a slow news day and they felt the need to bring this up. Okay. Now, speaking of wait, hold on. Let me because I see there's a comment. Lip gloss is so filthy. Well, I do like that song. Um, okay, so let's move on and get to our next topic. Speaking of no good ass men, we're gonna go from Justin Timberlake and talk about Tom Sandoval. So Tom Sandoval, who is like one of the most hated reality stars on TV right now, thanks to all the shit that happened last season with him and Raquel and all that debacle, Scandoval, that whole drama that basically took over all of our lives in 2023. So he's basically trying to quell the firestorm he incited for comparing his cheating scandal to historic media stories, including the death of George Floyd and the murder trial of O.J. Simpson. And it's funny, white people always try to piggyback on black struggles in order to keep their bullshit stuff that they brought upon themselves as a way to stand out in the press. So, in the profile published to the New York Times Magazine on Tuesday, the Vanderpump Rules star was asked by interviewer Irina Alexander why he thought Scandoval became such a massive pop culture phenomenon. He responded, "I'm not a pop culture historian, really, but I witnessed the O.J. Simpson thing and George Floyd and all these big things, which is really weird to compare this to that. But I think, do you really think in a weird way it's a little bit of the same?" Before I finish that, I was like, no, because first of all, George Floyd his shit went viral because we had this racist ass cop who basically had his knee on his neck and killed someone in real time. So with that trending on social media, that's when the outrage started. And then because of the pandemic and all that other stuff that happened at the time, people was sick and tired because we had to really, I think this is the George Floyd thing happened at the time when we all had to sit at home and deal with a lot of our shit that we want to have to sit still and deal with. So with this situation coming out, this is why the George Floyd thing I think went more viral and people just tired more than any other thing. The O.J. Simpson thing, I remember that as well because this was more or less, even if whether or not O.J. Simpson did it, and I think most people are leaning towards he did do it, at the time, black people was happy he got off because black people were tired of the injustices of black people happening in America, and they felt by him getting away and not being found guilty and all this other stuff, even though it was a whole spectacle, the glove don't fit, you must have quit, and all this other shit that happened. Oh, I'm a poet, I know it. And all that other stuff happened. Black people were just happy that a black man got off, even though white as it's kept. O.J. Simpson ain't been black in a long time. But because, he had killed that white woman and the racism, they had to remind his ass that he ain't nothing but a nigga. Then all of a sudden he came back home he came back home with his tail between his legs trying to get sympathy and empathy from black people. Now black people, the same people that supported him back in the day during that trial, he's now being side-eyed because O.J. Simpson done sold his Negro soul and his black card so he could be up in there with the white folks. And that's routine. So I just had to point that out real quick before we moved on. So Alexander attempted to provide context because, when Sandoval say stuff, it's like, child, I'm gonna try to give you a little, I'm gonna try to give you a little leeway so you can clean it up, but this is messy. And try to clean it up, but some of your white people are like, hey, y'all clueless. So anyway, so she attempted to provide context to Sandoval's train of thought, noting he was trying to express the oddity of becoming a symbolic center of a nationwide discussion and a major news story. What he communicated instead was something more honest, which is just how much the experience had made him lose perspective. Now, the Vanderpump Rules star apologized later on Tuesday, releasing the following statement, saying, "My intentions behind the comments I made in New York Times Magazine were to explain the level of national media attention my affair received. The comparison was inappropriate and ignorant. I'm incredibly sorry and embarrassed." Now, in the Times profile, the writer also mentioned that Sandoval's publicist, who has a background in crisis PR, was typing furiously on her phone. Alexander then explained that on the day following their initial chat, he received a call from Bravo publicist asking about she received a call from a Bravo publicist asking about Sandoval's comment. Some of what Sandoval had said had gotten back to Bravo. Well, damn, that was quick. And everyone was concerned. What was it that he said about O.J. Simpson and George Floyd? Exactly. And I understand why Bravo was doing that because Bravo has had this habit of being scrutinized for the accusations of racism that goes on their stuff, from the Nene stuff, from so many other things that people have been saying about how Bravo was racist and all this stuff. So yeah, they were shitting a brick and they were worried because they walking on eggshells when it comes to racism and stuff in this country, or especially when it comes to their show and the colorism accusations that goes on with not Married to Medicine, with Real Housewives Potomac. So I can understand why they on edge whenever it comes to anybody say anything about black anything, George Floyd, O.J. Simpson, they can say anything about like just anything black. And I can just be like, black, 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 black. And all of a sudden, Bravo done shit themselves because they worry. And this is what y'all do. Y'all always stressing out and panicking over some bullshit. So I can understand because they got to protect themselves and they got a business to uphold. So I totally get that. But I'm gonna say this. I know a lot of people hate Tom Sandoval because of what happened in It Takes Two to Tango, because it wasn't just Tom, it was Raquel. So they both need to be dragged over the shit that they did. And I understand Raquel's out here modeling or doing whatever, and Tom is really trying to rehabilitate himself on Vanderpump Rules. It ain't working because people still hate him. I totally forgot. I haven't even watched this new season of Vanderpump Rules, so I need to catch up because I'm a binge watch it. I don't know when. Might be tonight or whenever. But for the most part, I totally got what he was saying. But I guess because Tom Sandoval is who he is and some of the things he said in the past, I got what you were saying, but you are notorious for putting your foot in your mouth. And maybe it's just that he's not articulate enough to really say the right thing. And I think we're so used to people giving like the publicist answer instead of really speaking honestly. And I'd rather he just speak out honestly and say what he said instead of people and then people getting outraged over him just giving some corny ass answer. So I totally got it. Wow, it's like you're not gonna compare yourself to George Floyd and stuff, but I understand when you look beneath the surface, he's talking about the overall how it just took over pop culture because people the OJ Simpson trial definitely was a big time in America. They did a whole episode around the OJ trial, and the episode of Pose. I think it was the last season. So they did a whole story about that. So and then they did a whole OJ trial thing. Ryan Murphy did a whole OJ thing, the people versus OJ Simpson. So OJ Simpson, that whole trial has definitely it is a big staple, a stamp for pop culture. And George Floyd, because unfortunately what happened to him, and, the underlying of racism in America that people don't want to deal with, and the historical context of racism in America, that the George Floyd thing is a stamp in America that will never be forgotten. And quiet as his cat, whether you want to believe it or not, Scandoval is a part of pop culture. So there's that. Okay, so we got some comments, and then we got two more topics, and I'll be done. I don't even know what the hype about him was. I know nothing about him since I don't watch. Um, I don't know what the hype about Tom Sandoval is either. He just coming across as just some mouth breather that feels that he's more talented than what he is. That little band he's been running around with is horrible. I know he's been trying to incorporate some type of business outside of the whole reality TV thing. I don't know how Tom is doing, that business that he has with the other Tom Schultz. I don't know how well that business is doing and all this stuff. I've heard that oh my God, what's his name? The one that was on that show that was on House of Villains. He's basically said that business is not doing um all that great. So um speaking of which, House of Villains is finally available to watch. I don't know why they didn't release them, the next day and also that sort of thing on um damn, what's that channel? On Peacock. I never understood that. So they finally uploaded the full season of House of Villains on Peacock. So you can watch it. Because I could only watch the first, I think, two episodes, and then I had to like pay for it for E. And I'm like, that's stupid. Like, y'all should just release the episodes and then it could have still been trending on Peacock. So hopefully they do that with this OMG fashion show that um Laura Roche is co-hosting along with Julia Fox, because I want to see that show. Like I said, I don't have streaming, so um I can't watch the shows like I want to. I'm not streaming. I don't have cable, so I can't watch E. I can't turn on the TV and watch E if I wanted to. Like if E is a part of Peacock, there should be a way for you know the shows for me to see the shows that I want to see, especially if I'm paying the type of money for NBC Universal. Like all of y'all stuff should be available. But anyway, I guess he likes how it tastes. Okay, so we got two more topics and then we out of here. So let's get into this Floyd Mayweather. Chill. This is why some people should be seen and not heard. So Floyd Mayweather is refusing to criticize Diddy over his sexual assault allegations. The retired professional boxer sat down with host and former NFL players Ryan Clark, Fred Taylor, and Channing Crowder, where the hour-long discussion began with the topic of his grandson, Kentrell Golden Jr. The 1-year-old is the son of Mayweather's daughter Yaya, and young boy never broke again, saying, "Me and NBA young boy speak on the regular. We speak on the daily." This is what he said around the 5:45 mark about the rapper. Very happy for his career, proud of him, and eventually he's gonna grow. I don't know why I'm talking about NBA, but what the T is, we should get to Diddy. So now he, because they were talking, I guess, because in this contest, because he also said now in the top on the topic of growth, Diddy came to mind for Mayweather, who randomly went on a tangent about the disgraced hip hop icon, saying, "I'm not going to speak bad about P Diddy because he's still a black man." This is what he said around the 650 mark. Mistakes happen, and I can't say if it's is or if it's not a mistake, but things happen in life, and P Diddy business is P Diddy's business. It's not my job or anyone else's job to go on the internet and stomp him and kick a man when he's down. My take on it is it's not my business. I don't think it's right at all, and I don't condone it. The 15-time world champion boxer continued, even if that happened to my daughter, I would be hurt, but that's the choice that my daughter made, so I don't want to kick nobody. Wait, so are we blaming women for being caught in a situation where, like with Cassie, um, being the, let's call it what it is. She was a low hanging fruit. She was a girl with an okay singing voice and okay with the dancing. Was trying to come out with a record deal or a record career. She was up under Ryan Leslie. Ryan Leslie was trying to make her star or whatever because they were dating at the time. Diddy saw this pretty girl, took advantage, used his power to bulldoze and persuade this girl to come over on his side, and because she chose to go with Diddy, she's got to deal with it's a decision that she made for the repercussions of him abusing her, whatever. Knowing with us not even knowing all the details. I mean, we know the details for what Cassie revealed, but it just seems like he's blaming her more than anything. But it's okay that but because Diddy is someone who has been influential in music and those other stuff, I can't blame him because he's a black man. So what we're not going to do is, I'm sick of people who come out here, toxic black men like Floyd, because quiet as it's kept. There's been stories about Floyd being a woman beater and things of that nature. So I'm not surprised that he would defend Diddy over the abuse accusations that he has going towards him. And I don't understand, we're in this time, and it seems to me this is why a lot of y'all need to just get out the podcast space, because a lot of y'all that be saying stuff and be going viral is because y'all be saying dumb shit. So Floyd need to stop protecting manipulative, toxic ass black men like Diddy. And to me, your race and you being black is not a get out of jail free card for the way y'all be out here using your very blackness to manipulate and abuse your own people. Because at the end of the day, black people have been conditioned to protect their abusers or their enslavers or people who do harm to them. So spending the last 30 years that we know of your career grooming as well as mentally and physically abusing your girlfriend, as in Cassie, as well as other women who have come out claiming they were assaulted by Diddy, is not some little mistake that just happened. So, in my opinion, Floyd, stick to the rivers and the lakes that you used to, which is throwing punches at people, and leave the actual thinking to those with us, those of us with a working brain. Because Diddy basically, like I said, hired Ghislaine Maxwell. I don't think I told about this on the show. He hired Ghislaine Maxwell's attorney. I was like, he did it. Because if you hired her, and she's, you know, defended some of the most problematic of people. But anyway, so, I don't understand this man who has defended this person who settled out of court for an undisclosed amount with Cassie, who basically put all the business and stuff out there. Especially, and it got this recent thing coming around with a woman who claimed that he assaulted her sexually in 2003 when she was 17 years old, when she was flown out to, daddy's house, the studio, and all that other stuff that happened. So this is insane. So to me, it's just like, you out here sitting here defending this foolishness. This is why I can't. A lot of y'all toxic ass people be out here just influence, birds of a feather, apparently. So Robert says, I just got reminded about the last time a married pop star had an affair with married men on a movie set. Ariana Grande. I did see some child, and Leah Rhymes still be getting read over it. I think Brandy Glanville, who was from the Real Housewives, all that stuff. I do believe that she has kind of moved on, I guess, because she hasn't really been talking about. But I remember that was a prominent story about that, and especially when Vanderpump Rules, speaking of which, first launched, Shayna Shea, who was still on the show, they had them do a scene, her and Brandy, where Brandy confronted her over her also having an affair with Eddie Cibrian. And at one point, I liked Eddie Cibrian. Eddie Cibrian was like one of those like Dean Cain. Y'all were on the cusp. of y'all career taking off, but then y'all started doing dumb shit, and it's like y'all careers is like in the toilet. Now I think Eddie Cibrian just don't he do like Hallmark and Lifetime movies and stuff? I think that's basically where his career is at this point. So and I just saw a recent photo of Ethan Slater on social media shirtless. So I don't know what in the bed. So I don't know what he trying to be out here proving and what he up to, but Ethan, no, no more I see you with your clothes on. All right, so let's get to our final topic because, child, I'm like, this is the first time in a long time I've done a 3-hour episode, but I gave y'all like 15 topics. So Offset is campaigning for his sometime wife, Cardi B, to get her butt back in the studio to release her second album. It's been nearly 6 years and she's acting like a scaredy cat. Now, Offset took his IG story to deliver a message to Cardi B. The Migos member tagged his wife in the post about her follow-up to 2018's invasion of privacy. Stop being scary and drop the album. Hashtag. I think it was called Ish. Well, SHIT. I think that's what he was saying. Shit goes crazy. Fire emojis. I am Cardi B. Offset captioned his Instagram story video. The soundless clip features Set seemingly reacting to music playing in the background. It's probably music from Cardi's upcoming album. But my thing is, if y'all not hunching, although y'all were spotted together in Miami during Valentine's Day, maybe he has some of her music and they've been working on music and stuff together, which I hope that's not the reason why she's still messing with that man, because she feels indebted to him because they've helped each other out in the music business, getting their statuses and clout and stuff up. But anyway, so Cardi B's debut album Invasion of Privacy became a commercial and critical success for the former Love and Hip Hop New York star. The LP debuted at #1 on Billboard 200. It spent 222 weeks on the chart, making IOP the longest charting female rap album in history, which still pisses Nicki Minaj off. But let's continue. Additionally, Invasion of Privacy earned the distinction of being the first solo project by a female rapper to win the Grammy Award for Best Rap Album. The Recording Industry Association of America certified IOP as 4 times platinum. Now, Cardi B has released several singles since 2018, 2020's WAP featuring Megan Thee Stallion, and 2021's Up, both peaked at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100s chart. She's also featured on tracks by Migos, Nobody, Summer Walker, Glorilla, Lotto, Offset, and others. Now, I will say this, Cardi, it has been almost half a decade since you released. Well, maybe it is half a decade. It's 6 years. It's been 6 years since you released new music. It's time for you to stop being scared, get in the studio, and release music. We won't know if the album is good unless we hear it. So it's up to the court of public opinion. So art is subjective. Whether you release it or you don't release it, I do agree with Offset. Stop being scared. Release the record. Stand behind it. And be like, this is the album I'm giving y'all. And that's what it is. This is way too long that you are taking between albums to release music, especially when you have such a strong fan base who got your back, who supports you, and is excited to hear new music for you. Now, I don't know if Cardi B is still musically as influential has her finger on the pulse or as influential as she was back when Bodak Yellow came out. Because I remember when I was up at the gay clubs, they stayed playing Bodak Yellow, and the butch queens and the gays and the femme queens and the lesbians, the AGs and the non and the femme lesbians was dipping it and doing it up in the urban night parties that I would go to when I would go to boxers. Whatever boxers would have their urban, like their Latin night or whatever the case was, they'd have like on the lower level, upper level they would do like the Latin music, all the stuff, the house music, and then on the lower level they would do more hip hop. So Cardi definitely has her finger on the pulse, I believe, in certain spaces. I don't know if she's as hot now as she was back in the day. Now I know it's all about Megan Thee Stallion, and there's so many other girls that the kids are featuring, the Ice Spices and the Glorillas and all these other and the Sexy Reds and all these other girls that's out here making music, and the Lottos. Although Lotto, that song with her and Jennifer Lopez, nobody cared about that. To me, it just sounded like Jennifer Lopez was trying to make Booty Part 2 with that song. Remember when her Iggy Azalea did that song? And that song came and went also. But anyway, so I really feel like it's time, Cardi. Like, stop playing. It's 2024. You've been promising to release this album for the longest. I do feel like this is a lane and this is a space where you need to come out and release new music. Just release a couple of songs here and there. Get people excited for some new music. Dip your toe, like do it like you've been doing with WAP and Up and all these other songs. Release a new song next month. I think March is the perfect time when you need to release new music and then release the album in the summer because I think it's time. I think it's time that you need to release this music because at this point, you either release the music or get off our line and stop trying to, edge us when you got us thinking that new music is going to be coming out. Because I feel like at this point, like, just leave the music business if you're not interested in releasing an album, unless you're in a situation where you're contractually obligated to release an album, and then your record label going to have to force you. So it may have to come to a point where the industry is going to have to metaphorically put a gun to her head and tell her, excuse me, okay, bitch, release where the music. Like, it's time. Like, you using our money and we giving you this advance and we put so much into you putting this album together and you still not giving us music because you scared because you got performance anxiety or you got anxiety releasing music. Like, you're not Sade. You can't release an album every 10 damn years and the fans will be waiting. The hip hop industry is very fickle. And in my opinion, when it comes to rap and hip hop, there's a short there's like a short life. I was gonna say attention span. It's a short attention span and a short lifespan on a lot of the hip hop talent. So, Cardi, even though your man ain't shit, I agree with him. All right, so we got a comment, and then I guess we'll be out of here. Like, oh, I remember Antonio Sabata Jr. I used to have a crush on him. Remember when he was Jagging on General Hospital? I used to have a crush on Antonio Sabata Jr., especially when I seen him in them Calvins. Yeah, the Calvin Klein underwear commercials. That was definitely an awakening to my homosexuality. So, yeah, there was a lot of them. It was a lot of these guys that I used to just be like fawning over and, coming to terms with my sexuality turned out to be a bunch of assholes. Dean Cain, Antonio Sabato Jr., Eddie Cibrian. Like, I love, but I'm a cheerleader. But and you and them jean shorts, them coochie cutters. But yeah, y'all turned out to be a lot of men that ain't shit. I'm surprised her career is still going since she has done no music. Because Cardi has been keeping our name in her mouth by going on Instagram or Twitter or whatever and doing like those lives and just going on her little rants and stuff. And so she's been kind of, in a way, using her reality TV skills, the things that she learned from being on Love and Hip Hop, and incorporating that into what she's been doing with keeping us, keeping her name in our mouth and on the radar and keeping her trending. Because the last time I think like I saw Cardi perform was New Year's for New Year's Rockin' Eve. Like, I watched her perform when she was up there in Miami. So yeah, it is about time. Like, lean into the fun party stuff. I mean, I don't see what kind of growth part. I mean, look, I done said what Cardi need to do is take all that shit she been running off of her mouth with on social media. She should have been putting all that energy into writing them songs. But it is like she was just wasting time. Or maybe she's going to use the kids as a shield for her procrastination or why she don't want to put stuff out. So her having a kid, like, it's easy for Offset to get up there and make music because he's a man. It's required for a woman to sit at home and raise the babies. But like I said, it's time, Miss Mamas, that you get up and you release new music. But anyway, I did say that. Cardi B is no Sade. I said that. Unless you just agreeing with me on it. But anyway. Oh, let me see. Okay, so I wanted to get down to the nitty gritty hitty. All right, so we at the end of the show. Yes, I gave y'all a 3-hour show. That was a rarity because I'll be trying to keep it short, but I will be cutting up these clips and I'll be putting all over my TikTok and my Instagram and my Facebook and stuff. So be sure if you see them clips up there, hit like it, subscribe, share, do all that good stuff. Because that definitely helps with the algorithm. I even had people that come up to me off the stream was like, that a lot of my videos and stuff end up in their feed and they don't even follow me. So the Chris Avalon algorithms is definitely working. But anyway, thank you all for tuning in and commenting and sticking through, the show and keeping, and all that good stuff, be sure to follow me on all my social media platforms, as well as which I have in the in the description down below. I have all my social media platforms. If you not follow me on Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff, TikTok, I have all that down in the description, so definitely do that. Also, if you are still watching, please hit that like button, that subscribe button, and that notification button, so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of the Chris Avalon Unfiltered Show. And all that good stuff. So yeah, once again, thank you all who have been in the live stream that's tuned in. Felix, Robert, I had Sailor Mermaid came in for a second. I don't know if he stuck around, but yeah, he did stop in for a second just to say hey. But yeah, so yeah, I know this is a long ass episode, but it was required because, like I told you, I had to take a couple of days off, but I gave you enough goodies to keep y'all satisfied for the next couple of days, because I probably won't be back with a brand new episode until the weekend. And that most likely will be Sunday, because tomorrow and Friday, well, or maybe Friday, I'll probably come on and do something. I don't know. But I know Saturday I'm supposed to hang out with some friends and things, and I got some things I'm going to be doing. So I'll definitely keep y'all posted. So yeah, more than likely Friday I'll jump on the line and I'll do give y'all a much shorter episode. But I'm feeling well enough that I wanted to just ramble and give y'all, a show and things. But anyway, so without further ado, love you all for watching. Love you all for having me on the background while y'all doing whatever it is y'all doing. And until next time, ciao, darlings.